All right, we're live. Got my glasses on. I am gluing together, and some of you might be all like, why? And I would be like, I don't know. But I am gluing together some gunslingers. See, this guy's got a badge. Of course, that badge went way up on his shoulder, way further than it should have been. So I'm going to need to slide that down onto his chest. How it got up there, I don't know. But, let's go ahead and get his badge positioned. Make a couple of law dogs over here, right? And I don't know. There's a lot of skirmish games that you can pick rules up for, or hell, you could just use Boot Hill, honestly. So, well, I hear in the living room people attacking Whoopi Goldberg because she talked shit about that deli in Staten Island. Shouldn't have done it, you know? I mean, it's not like I'm a New Yorker or anything, but I know a little bit about New York. Staten Island ain't the place. Aces and eights. Yeah, that's a good one. I would be a lot more interested in just playing a game where both players or all three players or whatever just kind of put together their little band of whatever, law dogs, criminals, whatever. And then you had a skirmish on a table, whether you did it like amongst the mesas and cactuses or, uh, you know, maybe I'll end up picking up a couple of those wooden punch out towns, buildings that they're cheap and they don't look great, but they look good, so it's like I could always do that too, but anyway, aces and eights, is that the Kinzer and Company one? It's like where when you shoot somebody, like there's like a clear thing with the outline of the target or whatever. Because I got that for a while, and I ended up giving it away to a friend who really wanted it. Uh, yeah, I got it, and I ended up giving it away to a friend. He really wanted it, and I knew I was never going to use it. And then I don't know if he ever used it. I mean, one thing, having a bunch of cowboys laying around is good for me just because uh there's a lot of interest in my group for like Deadlands. So, you know, if I wanted to run a Deadlands game, I'm 100% sure that that's a game I could definitely get my group going for. A normal Boot Hill game, they probably wouldn't. Don't know, but just a normal Wild West game, they probably wouldn't be super interested in it. But if I say Deadlands and you could be a huckster or some shit like that, I'm 100%. I mean, my wife already made a character for Deadlands. That's how certain I am that I could get Deadlands because my wife don't like to make characters for anything. She loves to play, but she does not like making characters. That's just you know I don't know if any of you guys are like that or know people like that, but yeah, some people just they want to show up and they want the character ready to go. So what ends up happening is I end up cornering her like when we're hanging out after dinner and just asking her a bunch of questions, and then her character is the result of those questions. And so in this case, her character is a muckraker, right? She basically has a big stupid 18 whatever camera, and she goes around taking pictures of people and things and then trying to sell that to the Tombstone Gazette or any other newspaper that will I agree, Mr. Copeland. I 100% agree, my good man. Sifu. Um, I don't understand why some people seem to hate it so much, but hey, look, it's not up to me, you know. If a person's got a problem with it, then they got a problem with it, and okay, you know. All right. So the last couple of games we've played, I ended up making all the characters. Like I would ask the players what they want to be, and they would tell me, and then I would make the character as close to what they said they wanted to be. Well, I mean, Traveler is always a great game to make characters for because making a character for Traveler is kind of a mini game anyway. Because you're, you know, trying your best not to die on some mission for the Marines or the Scouts or whoever you picked. I mean, in Traveler, if you want to make a character that's going to live to a ripe old age, you make like a free trader. The problem is free traders don't get a lot of promotions, and it's kind of hard for them to move up in rank and stuff. So it's just not exciting. But you can start the game as a 50-something-year-old man with 12 shares in a Far Trader or some shit, if that's what you want to do. But me, I've gotten to where when I make Traveler characters for myself, I stop at like 36. So I end up with a character that has a few skills, based on whatever training he went through and whatever. But he's still, young and ready to go out adventuring and stuff like that. So, I like that better than you just keep going and going and going until, I mean, I remember one time we made a character, I think Hungar and I were making a character, and Hungar chose Navy, and he ended up choosing the command branch, and his character retired from the Navy with like 6 tours or something, right? Well, 6 tours, that's 6 times 4, right? That's 24 years added to 18 years. So the dude was like 40 something and retired from the Navy with 6 tours. So he got like, dude started the game with like 250,000 credits and all kinds of stuff. And it was just like, why would this guy even go adventuring? You know what I mean? He's got 250,000 in credits. He's, his social rank is super high. He was like the captain of an Imperial ship. It's like this guy doesn't seem like the kind of guy that needs to worry about it. Oh, you got the minis. Well, thank you so much. I don't know. I forget why. Did you win a contest or something?
Hey.
Hey, Vic. Vic the other day was talking about wanting some minis, and I was thinking about last night and saying, well, depending on what kind of minis you want, I may be able to hook you up.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there someday. Someday, hopefully soon, I will be down in Florida and gaming with you.
Oh, I mean, if you're still up there for a while, I have no problem sending you a care package of minis.
Ah,
Just
I want to come down and game with you, and I'll look it over later. It's something that, you know what I mean. It's just something that I like to do in person and stuff, and do some
yeah.
negotiating.
Well, I will tell you what. The good thing about gaming with me is my wife always feeds everybody. Like we get like the good Costco brand chili dogs and all that stuff, and or she'll make a big pot of chili, or sometimes we just order a bunch of Taco Bell boxes, and then we bullshit around and play for like 3 or 4 hours.
Is that
Uh,
all? 3 4 hours? Come on,
well, the
man.
problem is we start late ish
Oh,
for some of the guys, and like half of the group have construction jobs,
oh, okay.
and we're playing on a Sunday night.
Oh, yeah. See, I play usually on a Saturday.
Yeah, I wish we could move to Saturday, honestly, and maybe we will be able to a little bit, because one of the guys that was so hardcore about us playing on Sunday,
Hmm.
he's taking a break from all gaming for a while. So that might be the perfect move it Saturday for a little while. I'd have to, of course, it'd have to be cleared with the wife, and
Yeah, I usually call Sunday my rest day, where I just like, just let it go. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I get no rest on Sunday. Sunday is a busy day for me.
well, that's why you need to have that break. Then you know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, I choose. Well, I get a break the whole rest of the week.
Well, yeah,
You
okay,
know what I mean? Because being retired, I'm just mostly doing honeydews and hanging about the house.
yeah.
I mean, the wife keeps me around because she definitely needs somebody tall to get things off of high places.
Well,
Uh,
you're the human step stool, like my grandmother said.
yeah, basically, because she'll need something and she can't see it or reach it, so she calls me in and she's like, "Hey, look up there and see if there's a pack of sugar up there." Yeah, on a Saturday, yeah, you could possibly join, because see, BRC lives. He's one of the guys I used to game with a lot, uh, but he's a construction worker, so Sunday is hard for those guys. About 10:30, 11 o'clock, they're like, "Oh man, we need to wrap this stuff up because I need to get home and get some sleep. I got to be up at 6."
Yeah.
It's like, okay. But like this week, we started the game at like 6 o'clock. So
Oh,
by the time they were getting tired, we'd been going for hours.
yeah. I hear you, man. We usually start at 3 till about 8 o'clock or so. That's when the store closes. If the store didn't close, we'd probably go till 9, 10 o'clock at night. You know.
Yeah, when I played games in our local uh, friendly, you know, whatever, since I was in so good with the owner and the manager, they would lock the store up and let us stay in and play.
Yeah, that's the source did that here in Minneapolis or in Roseville, Minnesota for quite a while, but they they um they went and did something else now with that. So I don't know if they still do it or not, but it's not my worry. It's I get my gaming in twice a week, twice a month at least. So and then I'm like today I'm going to Wesley's again. So you know
Right. Which I mean, that's braggable. Being able to go hang out with. That's what I told the guy who made the film Blackmore.
yeah.
It's like I was like, everyone's arguing about who created role playing, and I was like, and the argument's always Gygax versus Arneson, and I was like, and no one ever mentions Wesley,
Oh yeah.
and it's like, okay, he might not have invented role playing, but maybe he did, because I mean, he was running these games with 20 plus players in it, and they were role playing all these different roles in the town. And it's like, so while I'm not trying to take anything away from Gygax or Arneson, I view Arneson as more of an idea man, and Gygax was more of the entrepreneur. It's like Gygax saw the idea and realized it could be monetized.
And that's basically what it was. Is Arneson had the idea, he knew what was going on, but it was Gygax who because he was an actuary, he put the numbers to the idea, and that's how it became popular. You know what I mean? So, and Wesley never introduced any fantasy creatures to it. That was all Arneson, and then Gygax picked up on it from there. So,
Yeah, but it would have been so easy for Wesley to introduce anything. But I'm just saying, if you're going to talk, Squirrel Hermit. Sorry, bro. Just saw you. How you doing, Squirrel Hermit?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Doing great. Hope you're doing great.
Yeah.
Sat down without my drink, so I'm going to get up and go get it here in a minute. But yeah, man, I think you being able to hang out with that, that group is such a privilege,
Well, come up to Minnesota for Dave Con. Jesus Christ.
That's what you keep saying, but I keep telling you, it's too far away.
Get on the plane, get up here. We'll set you up, and you'll be playing all the games you could possibly want. You'll get home to your wife, and your wife will say, "You look exhausted," and you're going to say, "I am, but I had a great time."
Yeah.
I met a lot of neat people. I even got to play with Wesley, Bill Hoyt, all those people. You'll be so busy you wouldn't even know what to do, James.
I know that you're 100% correct. And, there is a huge part of me that would love to do it. Unfortunately, there's another part of me that is super opposed to ever leaving my house. So there's like this battle, like that would be really fun, but it's a real struggle, man. It's a real struggle for me.
You trust me. You're gonna lose your inhibitions, and you'll have a great time. You'll be worried up to the point that you sit in there and you sit in a game and you start meeting people, and then everything will just fade away, man. It'll just be like.
Yeah. Well, I still got a couple months to think about it.
Yeah, well, you do.
See, if I could convince Hungar to go, but he won't because he gets sick a lot.
Well, what about one of your other gaming partners down there?
Yeah, I might mention that shit next time we get together and be like, hey, would any of you guys be interested in? I'll take you. We can drive up for lunch. Windrunner, that's awesome and all, but he's talking Minneapolis. There's a con called Dave Con in Minneapolis, and it's like days long.
I'd like to hit that.
So, well, look, Warren, or Windrunner. I mean, sorry, I know this guy in real life. It's months from now,
April.
So if we really, which is my birthday month, if you're serious about going up, I mean,
that'd be a way to celebrate.
Well, I'll put it this way, James. Come up, and I'll guarantee you, I'll get you in a couple games you want. Like, I'll make sure I get you into Wesley's Blackmore, or not Blackmore, but make sure you get into the David Wesley's Braunstein game for sure. I'll guarantee that. And then stuff,
it's possible for some people that are going to show up. I'm a minor celebrity. I'm that crazy guy online that's always talking crazy shit.
Well,
But I'll tell you what I did, and the reason the subtext of this is yo ho ho is for whatever reason, because heaven knows miniatures are not a thing I am lacking. But for whatever reason, I picked up a couple of the William Blackbeard Teach versus Lieutenant Maynard box sets from Firelock Games. And it's like their 2-player starter set. So it comes with 24 pirates or seamen, whatever. A miniature of Blackbeard the pirate, a miniature of Lieutenant Maynard, who apparently was the British guy, finally caught him. 2 hard plastic polypropylene, the whole deal model kits of Bermuda type sloops. With cannons and swivel guns, etc., and then a couple of cardboard bits that you punch out and build like buildings. And the whole deal is it's basically like Frostgrave, except you're pirates.
Ah, cool.
Like you put treasure.
So they don't include Queen Anne's. What is that? Queen Anne's.
That was Blackbeard's ship, the frigate Queen Anne. You can buy it, but it's resin cast. It costs like, well over like $124.
Yeah, but that would be so worth it to do it. I would buy that.
Check this crazy shit out. If you're interested in pirates or you just want to use them for your D&D game, Firelock Games is selling their sloops 2 in a box for $30.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I mean, that is crazy because these are like foot long, or they're 28 millimeter sloops with guns, and so
have 3D printers, man. We got 3D printers. You're just sitting there like going, I can cut it in half and glue it together. I can.
Well,
yeah.
Right.
Breaking launch.
I don't know though. I'm just really excited about it. And apparently there's gangs or factions, so you can choose to play pirates, the British, the French, the Dutch, the Carib Indians, black guys that are marooned. So Africans that they're actually even called maroon or whatever. You can play the Spanish, and they sell all the ships that you would expect from the Pirates computer game, but 2 sloops for $30, that is insane.
That's a deal.
That is a great deal. And that comes with everything except cells. And there's 2 different ways you can rig them. So there's like the Bermuda way, and then there's the other way. And you can pick and then put whatever flags you want on it. Of course, I know what I'll do, because in addition to that, I bought the British box set, which comes with a British officer and 24 British sailors, including redcoats, because I guess British ships had Marines on them.
Cool.
Damn, there goes Vic. Hungar, how you doing, my brother? So I know that the sloop I paint up is definitely going to be rigged however the British did it, and have a British flag. I might even try to get like a fancy one, that has the St. George cross, but it has like the little flares on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it comes with a 3 foot by 3 foot map to play on.
No way. That's cool.
I mean, yeah, it's got everything you want. And you know how much the box set costs for like all the stuff I described?
I'd say, I don't know, $50.
$99. Regularly 150 something, but it's on sale.
Nice.
They're having a pirate sale. So
Army minis.
Yep. But yeah, you can be straight up pirates, but you can also be what's it called? Like if you want to play Native Americans, They have the Carib Indians. They have like the different tribes of Indians, you know, that you can play. So you could play a scenario where you got the one guy landing his boat on the coast and you are waiting on the land, you know, to try and ambush him.
Yeah.
And there's treasure tokens scattered around. And just like Frostgrave, the whole deal is to get the token and get it off the board. Because then you get XP and gold and treasure, and you can upgrade stuff, and your characters gain XP for every time they survive a mission. So
Cool.
it's kind of a campaign game,
I got a
which,
question.
you know, I absolutely love that.
I know you're not a legal scholar, right, James? You're not. You admit this, right? You're not a legal scholar.
I know how to break into doors and shit.
Here's my question for you. You know that Lake and Riley murder trial?
Yeah. Yeah.
The guy got convicted today. Now, if he's an illegal alien, does the United States just got to provide 3 hots and a cot, or do we got to give him like the full treatment?
I'm not a legal scholar, but I do know that the president-elect said that any illegal that takes a American life will get the death penalty.
Well,
now, is he going to do that like when he gets in? Like all after the fact and all?
who knows? I don't know. Frankly, I think it's a grand idea to load them up on the C-130s and kick them off the back end of the plane when you get to the whatever country they're from.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, that would work.
yeah.
Well, I've been saying on a couple of pages, on the Radio Genoa one, there's a guy that keeps on popping up on there. He's been arrested 30-something times in the Palestinian protests,
Right.
by the German police. I'm saying, when's enough enough? When are you gonna just put him on a C-130, fly him over to Gaza, and drop him out the back of a plane with a parachute? You know, I mean,
Well,
you're wasting so much time and resources on these guys. It's, you know.
well, they were talking about we will go to prison first, then be deported. Privateer, yes, Windrunner, you can play a privateer. And the box set actually comes with 4 sloops because it comes with 2 boxes. So, of sloops, I believe.
That's a lot of stuff, man. That's cool.
Yeah, for the price. And everybody, I did a lot of last night, a lot of YouTubing, you know, for like reviews and plays and stuff. And it like was 100%. Everybody was like, if you like pirates, you're going to love this game because, you know, and going way back, I mean, Pirates, Sid Meier's Pirates was like, I wasted so many hours on both of them, Pirates and then the remake of Pirates. Because, I mean, I don't know. There's something about sailing around the Caribbean in a freaking gun to the max frigate and just chasing Spanish treasure ships down and raiding towns and forcing them to become British, even though they were French, and, you know, just living out your colonialist dreams. I've even been known to take a trip up the coast of Florida and attack a few towns there every now and then. I mean, one time I actually took Havana, and that was not easy. That one was when you get Queen Anne's Revenge from Henry Morgan and just start smoking the Spanish. Yeah, right. Queen Anne's Revenge was what they called a fast frigate. And
wasn't it a French merchant ship that he took over, and then he just outfitted it with 40 guns or something like that?
I think he may have done that, but I know that maybe I'm wrong about which one is Queen Anne. I know for certain, though, at some point he got his hands on an actual frigate. What, you know, warship, like a ship built for war, you know. They would call that like a 7th or 8th rate warship because they do them by ratings. and he played holy havoc with that thing, because it had like 20 something guns to a side and could actually maneuver really well because it had a copper plated hull and all that shit. So yeah, he was a monster. But I mean, the game looks relatively simple, and it's kind of just a hybrid of Mordheim and Frostgrave, except pirates. You make your captain, you get your crew, you can get your ship. I guess the sloop, because it's so common and small, is like the basic ship that everyone can get. But the website has, if you wanted to spend the tons of money, they got like Dutch flutes and merchantmen, frigates, 6-rate galleons, Spanish treasure galleons. But I mean, the Spanish treasure galleon's like $200, but apparently it's 18 inches long and like multiple decks, and
Yeah, big.
it's big. Yeah, it's not like whereas the sloop is like 9 inches long, which if you do scale, that's still a 45-foot ship.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's still, yeah. Yep, you're right.
Yeah. So, and I do remember playing Sid Meier's Pirates, and many a time I would be in a sloop with like 8 guns to a side or some shit, and maybe 72 men crammed into it. And the good thing about the sloops is that they basically can ignore the wind. The way they're rigged, they can actually sail almost into the wind. So very maneuverable, very, very low draft. You like in the Pirates game, you don't even got to worry about sandbars when you're in a sloop. You're just like, whatever. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, they got shallow.
The draft is so shallow, they're just like,
Yep.
whatever,
That's cool.
When
That
I get
sounds funny. I like
30 cannons on the Queen Anne.
You did what?
It says there's 30 cannons on the Queen Anne.
That would be per side or total?
Total.
So 15 to a side, or 14 to a side and some forward and some back. I didn't see a model in 28 millimeter for like just the standard merchantman, which would be something I would be willing to save up for. Just because, I mean, you got to have a merchantman, right? You could play a scenario of, hey, this is a French merchantman, and here you are as a pirate. You take it and loot all the shit, I mean,
Yar.
It's like,
Heck yeah, you'd have to do that.
you got to do that, right? You see that blue flag, you know what that means. That means
right.
attack.
Now, game on.
With the fleur-de-lis, that means come get it.
Game on.
Anyway, I'm going to walk into the kitchen and grab my drink because I was unprepared.
Get your beverage. So how you been, Vic?
I'm surviving.
I can tell you this.
Been on a semi truck right now out in Los Angeles here on the other side of this thing. That's why I accidentally clicked out earlier. I was like, God dang it.
Well, I know you're constantly on the road, brother. I know what that feels like. I don't drive truck, but
I haven't been on the road since September, but my last semi truck decided to catch on fire, so I'm betting on this new one. If I get it, I'm going to take a little flying trip out to LA, probably over Thanksgiving weekend, and bring it back and start working again in December, and probably work up until about a week before Dave Con, and then I will put it to bed for a while and work the Dave Con thing through, and then get back in the truck about 2-3 days after Dave Con, because every time I run a convention, it's like 2 days afterwards. I'm picking up and trying to get everything done, and
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to talk trucking, Hungar's the guy.
Yeah, well, I probably got a couple
trucker for freaking years, like a decade.
Yeah.
And he did the triangle, like Florida to California to New York to Florida.
Yep.
So I hated that time because I got to see him like once every 3 months, even though technically we lived together. You know what I mean? But yeah, look at him. He says he misses. Yeah, you miss being on the road because you always stop and got all those chorizos and hot dogs and 64-ounce freaking Mountain Dews and 6-packs of freaking Monster energy drinks.
Hunger just misses chasing skirts.
He had, I think his soon-to-be wife was his driving partner.
Oh, well, he's already
There you
married.
go.
We got remarried. Remember that.
He was married at one time, and they split up. And I'm not sure it was the smart thing for him to do because she was a cute little Czechoslovakian woman who had been a ballerina in the Czech Republic.
Wow.
And but they ended up getting divorced after 3 years. But yeah, everybody loved her to death. She was just, you know.
Well, this is a day cab, so I'm going to be staying in hotels every night from California, which isn't going to hurt me any. You know, I'll stop in. Let's see here. Do I got anybody I could stop in Arizona? Yeah, I could stop at my uncle's in Arizona, and I got a buddy up in Denver if I wanted to, but I'll probably just head straight back as fast as I can. Screw the logbooks, throw the logbooks out the window, and just roll. You know.
There you go.
Yeah, Hungar. I had a woman from Peru that was practically begging me to marry her. And I might have if I wasn't already, attached. But she wanted a citizenship, but she was telling me how she would like cook for me and work hard, and like she was laying it on. And I was sitting here thinking, she's a good looking woman, Peruvian, Indian, so whatever. And if she's gonna be like this super, doing all the wife shit, why not? But I had to unfortunately break her heart and tell her I can't help you out because I'm already, with a lady and and I'm not going to leave her,
Yeah.
It would have been a downgrade to leave my wife for her anyway, but
you would have probably had 6 kids by now. And
yeah. That was like 20 years ago. So yeah, that was back when I was still, rutting and all that. So yeah, I'd probably have a house full of kids and
have a whole litter,
trailer park somewhere, and be working my ass off day and night to pay for all those kids, and she would be working her ass day and night to take care of them, and that would be good. I mean, that's not a bad life. That's not a bad life at all, but
it is not.
It's not for everybody. Not your echo. Whatever you sent me, my translator seems to think that it's freaking Albanian. I'm like, that don't look Albanian. Are you talking in Serbian? I mean, I do have a brother-in-law, or I used to, who was Serbian. So, and Serbian is not that different from Russian. But Zims Olshanek, or let's see how they said. Yeah, Zims Olshanek, it keeps trying to tell me that's Albanian or something. So yeah, sorry. But that would be amazing though, if my bro Windrunner wanted to take a week off and cruise up there. I mean, I'd rent the hotel. I would go ahead and rent a hotel for like 5 days. Because maybe we might want to look at other stuff after the tournament, And I mean,
oh yeah, do a little sightseeing for sure.
All I'd have to do is buy him a box of crayons. He'd be good. Like every time we stop to fill the tank up, grab a box of Crayolas to keep him fueled up because he's a Marine, so you know how that is. They need their Crayolas.
Yeah, they need their Crayola intake.
Well, if you're coming up, you can stop at your mom's house on the way too.
Yeah, I don't think that would be on the way. I think I would have to do like up 65. So I'd end up going through like Alabama and Arkansas and all that.
Well,
You're going to start dinner.
I come up through when I go down there. I drive to Memphis out of here, and then I cut across on 24 to Birmingham, and then I drop down there to Tallahassee and come across and then down the Panhandle. So that's the way I usually come. So, but last time I went to Florida, I went back the other way through 65 up through Nashville and stuff. So
right. But in Florida, you're on Highway 10. Because Highway 10's the one that runs just like across the total top of the state. That's a rough road to drive if you've been driving a long time because it's just straight and there's nothing to look at. So it's kind of easy to like get road hypnosis or whatever they call it.
Yes.
Just be like, and then all of a sudden you blink and you're like, how in the hell did I get here? Like I drove 50 miles. I don't remember. But yeah, I remember that when I used to drive. You drive. That's why in Florida they've started making a lot of the roads have curves in them. Not like all the time, but just the occasional curve. It's to keep people awake. Because originally they were making every road just straight as an arrow, and the big brain people realized that's not good. It's a lot safer if there's some curves in them every now and then, so that the driver's actually interacting with the road instead of just dozing off.
Yep.
But yeah. See, you can, I guess, fall asleep in Kentucky, but if you do, you're going down into a holler or something. You're not going to like it. I know my drunk ass uncle and his buddy one time jumped a Vista Cruiser station wagon off a road, and they would be dead as hell, but the station wagon got caught between two big poplar trees and stuck. So then they had to climb out the window to the poplar trees and slide down the poplar tree. And that station wagon was 30 feet up. Well, and had the trees not been there, they would have kept going, down that holler. That would have been instant death. 100 plus foot drop, It did. All the yard waste is gone, baby. Yep. We had our palm trees trimmed, and you know how that is. Then you end up with like cans worth of palm leaves and stuff. But luckily, the yard waste came today. They didn't come last week. I guess it was a holiday or something. I don't even know what it was, but they didn't show up. So I was like, WTF, dudes. But yeah. Yep, you come down here, we're going to invite you over and you can hang out.
At the DrugCon. You didn't want to go up to the Crucible convention.
I was in Kentucky.
Oh, that's right, you were.
Yeah, because what happened is my sister-in-law invited my wife and I to come up to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, where they had rented this giant ass cabin. Had like 5 bedrooms, right? And it was basically, other than the gas and the food to get there, free. Like they're like, you don't have to pay us anything. Just come up, hang out for a while. Maybe go out to dinner, check out Gatlinburg and all that. So we're like, man,
nice of them.
A free vacation, basically, right? So we went up there and we hung out for like 3 days with the sister-in-law, her fiance, and some other family members. And then after we'd went into Gatlinburg and checked it out, which Gatlinburg's nice. It's a little blue for me, but it's nice. We're like, well, since we're here, let's cross the mountains and visit Mom. Except I was navigating and I took her the wrong road, so she ended up taking the Smoky Mountain Trail.
Whoops.
So yeah, instead of going through the gap, she went all the way up and down the mountains, like to the very top. And which for me was awesome. I was all like looking around, being all like, damn, this is cool. But she was all like, don't say a word. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But we saw like a massive herd of big ass deer, at least 3 different black bears, a lot of Harley guys. And I noticed that they all had their Harley emblems taken off of their motorcycles. They had de-Harley'd their Harleys.
Huh. That's weird.
Well,
no, they've been doing that.
A commercial that came out that said, be a real man, drive a Harley, but it was like super gay.
Ah, never mind that. Makes sense.
So then a lot of the Harley dudes were like, well, I'm not getting rid of my Harley, obviously. I'll just pull all the emblems off of it. And they did. Which they're stupid anyway. If they were smart, they'd buy an Indian. Like that big Indian chief, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. But some people, you know, that's the brand and that's what they want. And, you know, more power to them, you know?
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, they pulled all the Harley emblems right off of their motorcycles. And I don't know if there was some kind of biker thing going on when we were heading up there, but there were just like tons of bikers. I mean, tons.
Okay. Got to give up this bidding nonsense.
And they all had their old ladies riding bitch.
Well, that's good, but you know, enjoy the view. Good. Hopefully the weather was good for them wherever they were going.
Oh, it was nice too. The weather was like 50 degrees at the top, but much, you know, warmer the lower down you got.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there were a shit ton of bikers. I don't know if there was some kind of biker thing going on or that it was a club and they were doing some kind of run or whatever they were doing. I mean, you know, I have a strong attitude about bikers, which is I leave them alone and they leave me alone. You know what I mean? That's pretty much my view on the outlaw bikers, you know, the 1% guys and shit like that. I don't F with them. They don't F with me.
Yep.
And everybody gets along. You know what I mean?
99.9% of the time, they don't want to F with you anyways. They get other shit.
Yeah, they don't want anything from me. I'm not buying meth. I'm not selling meth. I'm not into hookers. So I know they were using a trailer in the town, the little, I can't even call it a town, the collection of trailers and houses around the mountain I live on. And for some reason, somehow in the middle of the night, one night, it caught on fire and burnt to the ground.
Imagine that.
It could have been the meth exploded, or it could have been one of the people who lived there on that mountain and in that holler there burnt their shit. But then all the meth heads moved across the mountain to another little area. So they don't go into where we are.
Well, that's probably why that got burnt down.
Yeah. Well, there's a firebug in that town for sure. Because if anybody leaves a house abandoned for like 6 months, it'll burn down. Guaranteed, you know. So don't leave your house abandoned in that area because somebody burns it down. One time the female biker, woman biker was front steering, and I can't really say I felt like I was a bitch. It all depends. That's just what bikers call it. I mean, I don't give a shit. Only lunchtime where Cal is. Well, Cal, you're 3 hours behind us. It's like noon for you. It's like 3 or 4 for us. My wife
I'm
is
at
working.
3:30. So yeah, you'd be right. Same time.
Mad Cat. It's not Mad Cat, homie. It's a Timberwolf. Come on. Even though the Innersphere did call them Mad Cats, because they're like, did these assholes combine a catapult and a did these assholes combine a catapult and a marauder? We'll call it a Mad Cat. Okay. Yeah, I gotta take this. Sure. One of my brothers just asked if I wanted to go out to lunch this weekend, his treat. I'm like, well, hell yeah. I don't even care where we go. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
gonna buy me free food? I'm there. What we getting? Some hot dogs? I don't care.
Yeah. Wendy's, chicken nuggets, whatever.
Chicken nuggets? I like nugs, man.
I like me some nuggets. I like Wendy's nugs too. They're good.
Yeah, they are good. Wendy's nuggets are good. But so yeah, in the future, you guys are going to hear me talking about that pirate game, and I'll be showing the ships. And hey, if you've got a crowd of guys that like pirates, maybe you might like the game too. I'm not trying to sell it for them, but I was really impressed at how affordable. I think the fact that I've been a Games Workshop fanboy for so long has kind of altered like my brain. It's like if I see a box set for less than $250, I think it's a deal, you know, because I'm so used to like, you know, Warhammer box sets being like 250, 300.
Yeah.
So when I see a box and it's like full of miniatures and terrain and boats and all this crazy shit, and it's not even $100, I freak out. You know, I'm like,
yep.
I'm like, what in the hell?
Space, gentlemen. It's called, do I have the space to store all that stuff? And that's one of the reasons, you know, like if I get my place down in Florida, I want to have a big ass game room that I got space to have shelves. I can put all that up there, and then I can invite guys over and say, all right, I set up the whole scenario. It's set up on the table. Let's play, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, luckily, my wife was nice enough to let me have this room as the game room. And the only bit of furniture she's got in it is her mechanical walking machine, treadmill, and she's got a bookcase full of novels that she read like 20 years ago. She's one of those people that when she buys a novel and reads it, she saves it forever.
Oh,
whereas me, I read a novel, and after I'm done with the novel, I'll give it away or something. You know, it's like unless it's something really good. How you doing, Satya? Like I've got the whole R.E. Howard collection and the whole H.P. Lovecraft collection and the like slip, you know, whatever. Those I'll save forever. But
yeah, I've got the entire collection of Vince Flynn from the very first one to the latest one, all signed, every single one of them. So
nice.
So I certain books like that. I got a couple books that are, you know, worth a goddamn ton of money. Just, you know, it's like, oh my, I didn't even realize it was worth this much. You know, you look at it and go, it can't be worth anything. You go look it up. Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I said, I was freaking out because I went on to Amazon, and I don't even know what I was looking for, but I wandered onto a box of Death Korps of Krieg commandos for their skirmish game, and they want $199. And that thing was $39 when it came out.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been seeing that a lot. Is that the publishers are only printing X number of them, and then letting them selling them out, and then it's like, oh, it went from a $40 book to $120. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. And I'm just like, well, since I publish a little bit, I'm gonna just start doing it. I'm just gonna say, hey, there's 400 out there, and that's it, and keep 20 back for myself.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I accidentally have 3 unopened boxes of those things still in the shrink wrap. But when they very first came out in plastic, I mean, Hunger can tell you this. Like, I was buying them. My wife bought me a bunch of them for Christmas. It was like we were, it was like Christmas for me. We were getting some Deathcore Krieg around here. You know what I mean? So I ended up with like 12 or 13 boxes of them. And not all at once, obviously. That'd been insane. But, and I built my Deathcore Krieg army, and I'm pretty happy with it. I've got one of them up here, actually. I've got actually more than one, because here's one that's not even painted. Here's one running that I used a different color on for some reason. This guy doesn't have the Horizon blue. He has field gray, but he has the blue pants. But let's see if I can get him to focus in. Move my fat head out of the way. See if he'll focus. Come on, get in there. Come on.
I know, I hate that. My camera does the same damn thing.
Yeah, sometimes it'll focus in. I need to see if I hide my head, maybe. Or you know what a good trick is? Maybe if I take this Talislanta character sheet I've had laying around.
Yeah, use a blank
and
white.
Just put the sheet behind it. It'll finally focus. Yeah, there, it's better. But you can see he's got the dark green helmet. He's got the light green greatcoat, and then the blue pants.
Nice.
So I've got a whole army of these guys painted up. And like I said the other day, I'm repeating myself. I took the weapon arms from all of the heavy weapon kits I had bought over the years, even though they were Cadian arms. When I glued them onto the Deathcore of Krieg, you can't tell. So you take the kneeling Deathcore of Krieg body, you glue the Cadian weapon arm on, and then you stick him behind the autocannon or las cannon or whatever, right? And then you stick another kneeling guardsman beside him, like he's watching the ammo or whatever he's doing. And if you want to get really crazy, you can put a guy next to him with the binoculars looking, downrange, and then just paint it up. And it's like, how to apply decals. Yeah, if they're old, sometimes they will break, and that sucks. That absolutely sucks. Especially if they've been abused, like every now and then I'll try to use some of my old Games Workshop decal sheets that I've had for like 5 years. And like 1 in 4 of the decals will actually work. The rest of them, as soon as they come off the paper, they're already broke. So Satya, I feel your pain. I've been there. I've definitely been there. And it's no fun. It's not a fun place to be. But, it just is what it is. SOCKS, as they say in Spanish. So,
what's good for dinner? What are we having for dinner?
Well, I don't know if I'm having any dinner at all. We had steak last night, and the steaks were so big that they didn't get all 8. So then, I got up today, and my wife had took the leftover steak and cut it in cubes. And
there you go. That's all right. Round 2.
Like she was saying I could eat it as a sandwich or a wrap or whatever, but I ended up just taking the bowl that she had it in and putting a little A1 sauce on it and eating it.
Nice.
So
Great.
basically, it was
I would
cubed
have
up.
thrown some gravy on it, made some French fries, and tossed it in the oven, warm it all up, and made myself a little poutine with throw some cheese on top, and
Right.
there you
There
go.
you go.
But yeah, I just, ate because it had, well, the steak had mushrooms and onions in it.
Oh, okay.
So this guy's having scalloped potatoes, rice, and green beans and pork chops. You're having 2 starches. What's wrong with you? Come on now. Exactly, Satya. Decals from 2011 tend to not work in 2024, almost 2025. You know what I mean? Because it's like, but I try them. I'll try them. I'll be like, all right, will this work? Because I've got so many Space Marine and Imperial Guard transfer sheets, and I use them on my Bautech figures, actually, like the Space Wolf. There's a little wolf insignia, and I'll put it on the shoulder. I've got a whole company, except after I put it on the shoulder, it's black. I went with a very fine brush and painted it red on the inside. You know what I mean? So it's got the very thin black outline, but it's red. And, so those are, the Red Wolves or whatever somebody wanted to call them, mercenary unit.
Yeah.
But then my favorite unit, which is the 7th Merrick Militia, they paint their mechs just straight black, and they have and their insignia is the Archangel Michael with a flaming sword descending from heaven. So Max Lau wouldn't like that because he's already let it be known that he's not a big fan when people just paint their mech black. And I sent him a picture of that, and I'm like, well, the 7th Merrick Militia just
he did his
black.
miniatures. Arneson did that when he did his miniatures. He just painted them all gray.
Right?
Because that was the rule. You had to have your miniatures painted to go play. And so he just dipped them in gray paint.
The rule down here for 40K is 3 colors.
Oh, well.
There had to be 3 colors on the miniature, but since I was playing Imperial Guardsmen, that wasn't hard because, at that time I was playing my Steel Legion army. So they had the desert tan jackets and leather boots and black helmets, and the guns were black, but they had the silver Imperial Eagle, and then they had the leather face mask, with the tube, which was like a rubber blue color. So, they were really easy to paint, but there was quite a few different colors and steps to it. But everything was really easy. But then some people got pissed off because these are all the metal Imperial Guard guys. And on their left shoulder, they have a round patch that has a lightning bolt in it. So if you paint the patch white with a black lightning bolt, people get pissed off at you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, get over it. They're like, it looks like they're SS guys. And I'm like, why in the freaking Games Workshop? This dude that used to be the game manager at the store I always went to, he turned out to be a dick in the end, but for the longest time, he was the coolest dude. Actually, I can pinpoint exactly when he become a dick too. 2016. It was when Trump got elected, he got TDS real bad. And then it was whatever, But one thing I can say about him is when he decided to move to Ohio, he gave me basically most of a Steel Legion Imperial Guard army. And he gave me all of his Iron Kingdoms, jacks and everything. And because he didn't have the room, in the moving van or whatever to take it all. So he's just like, hey, man, you can have all this. And I was like, thanks, bro. He never even painted them. They were still bare metal.
Ooh, even better. Now you could do whatever you wanted.
Well, I'm pretty sure as the game manager of the store, he probably was getting like some kind of discount.
Oh yeah, some deep discount. I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, you're probably buying that stuff at, 60% of the price. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so he was getting a good discount on it, and he ended up giving a bunch of it to me, just like the other guy that used to work there. When he stopped working there, he needed a little money. He sold me a comic box full of D20 modern books for $50. So I had like 3 core books, 3 of the Urban Arcana books, and like literally multiples of every single book that had ever been made for D20 Modern. And I ended up selling a bunch of them off, but I kept one of each for me, and it's in that shelf there because I can't get rid of them because that's my wife's favorite game.
James, that's just
Yeah.
proves that you collect books too. She collects books and you do too. You just collect gaming books.
Yeah, but like I said, that's my wife's favorite game. So if I ever, decided I wanted to run it, I know she would be 100% with it because she loves D20 Modern. So, which, it's not bad. It's not bad. I like the fact that if you take more damage than your constitution score from a weapon attack, you have to make a death save or die. So that's how they get around characters with lots of hit points. If somebody shoots you in the chest with a burst out of a AK-47, they could, in theory, do 30, 40 damage. And even if you have enough hit points to live through that, you still got to make the saving throw.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes it a little bit better, you know.
I got to get off this. I got to get off the auction site. I was going to spend too much money.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Well, I got the money. It's just that I got other things I want to spend it on. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean. I don't want to spend too much.
You do.
Especially for a semi truck,
Yep. I mean, yeah, that was the thing I decided to get for me with my, payday is the pirate game. What would be amazing, because I've talked to my wife about playing Frostgrave. Man, if I can talk her into playing a pirate game, I think she might be down. You know what I mean? Because when you go to Colonial Williamsburg, you hear about Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Because they displayed his body in Colonial Williamsburg, and then they displayed his head at the tavern in Colonial Williamsburg. And the rumor is that the Masons took his skull and made a punch bowl out of it.
Probably.
That's the legend, because when you go to Colonial Williamsburg, you can pay for the late at night ghost tour supernatural shit about Colonial Williamsburg, and a tour guide will take you around and show you where all the weird shit happened. And that's one of the things they told us, is that, yeah, the Masons took his skull. And that would be Jefferson and Washington and all of those guys.
All that group.
That mess. Supposedly, Colonial Williamsburg is completely just overran with tunnels. But, you can't go into them because they could collapse. It's a hazard. But the people who are restoring the town, they have found tunnels leading from the tavern to the hotel to the tunnels everywhere. It's crazy. Because there's a place there where you can actually look down a tunnel. you're just not allowed to go down it because of safety issues. Like it could collapse on you and you die. So,
Yeah.
you know, so Colonial Williamsburg is a wild place. A lot of weird stuff went on there. But you can go see the White House, and Mr. White is the man who Thomas Jefferson apprenticed to learn law. So he lived in that house for many, many years. And my wife and I got to tour it. I mean, and the rest of, people who were there. And then when my son-in-law proposed to my daughter, I paid so that he could go to a range and fire off a bunch of the muskets they have.
Oh, neat. That'd be fun.
So they actually put him in the back of like a Humvee and drove him, he said, like 30 minutes away from Colonial Williamsburg. And then when they got there, they had like all the different muskets that were available during that time, mostly just brown bass muskets. And they set a target up at like 50 yards and he got to shoot at it. And then they were all like, he got to take the paper home, and he was really proud of it because, I mean, I'm not saying he bullseyed it, but he put holes through center mass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With a smoothbore musket,
yeah. Come on, that's nothing.
That's pretty good. But like I've said a billion times before, I love my son-in-law. He's a good guy, Like
that's good.
Yeah, like.
Until he does something to your daughter, then you're gonna go beat his ass.
Well, the thing with him is it's like he's just such a good person. He's like the only person my daughter ever dated that I felt like she should date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the first time I met him and he come in, he's like, "Hello, sir, my name is," and he was super polite and all that. And I said, "Hey, relax, we're pretty laid back in this family. You ain't got to be like that. Don't be nervous." But he was scared as shit of me too, because he had seen me online. My daughter had showed me online talking, and not a big guy. And so he sees me, all orthodoxed out wearing a Russian tracksuit. And he's all like, and my daughter, he's like to my daughter, I mean, does he have a temper? Is there, and she's like, oh yeah, he's got a hairpin temper. If you piss him off, you never know. Right. So she was telling me shit.
Her boyfriend. All of my sister's boyfriends have been like, oh shit, don't get near him.
And she knew I would never hurt her boyfriend. She did that shit on purpose.
Oh yeah, my sister did it too, and they know the same thing. She says, "Oh yeah, my brother's fine until you piss him off, and then it falls the wall. You're dead, man."
Yep.
But
gotta mess with him.
And on top of all the great stuff I say about him, he has an FN57. So I was all like, "Oh my God, let me touch that." I've never even seen one in real life. And, because he makes decent money. He repairs Toyota forklifts. Apparently Toyota makes forklifts and normal lifts and all that shit. And he repairs them, which requires him to work with like big tools and hydraulics and all that crazy shit. And they pay him very well.
I'm sure they do. That stuff ain't cheap.
Yeah, very well. So, and my daughter works her ass off 10 hours a day all week long. So, between the two of them, they're probably doing better than I am.
Well, good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No envy. No envy here. I want them to do good.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. No, I'm agreeing. Like, good. I bet you're happy as all get out.
Kids are working. My kids are 17 through 20 years old, and I'm glad every single one of them's got jobs. I'm just like, yes, thank God. They don't have any reason about sitting around home and playing games all day.
Yeah, being a Madden king, as they call him.
Yeah.
But Italian dark leaf kale, kind of like collards. Yeah, I've ate kale before. It's okay. They say if you eat too much of it, it'll cause your thyroid to freak out. But whatever.
Kale's got a poison in it if you eat too much of it. So.
Well, that's like salad too. You got to boil it 3 times. If you're going to eat polk salad, yeah, you got to boil it 3 times. Otherwise, you
James,
will get
I gotta
very,
go.
very sick.
I gotta go see David Wesley and company and go gaming with them. So I bid you adieu, man.
Well, you have fun, sir.
I'll report in and see what they're all going to do today. I hope it's not Memoir 44. God, I get so sick of playing that game.
Yeah, I got so sick of playing it, I gave it away.
I like the game. It's just that, you know what? I can't play the same scenario 6 times in a row. I gotta mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I had a buddy and he loved it, and every time he visited, that's all he'd be like, "Let's play Memoir 44." And I got so aggravated that was the only game he ever wanted to play. I just gave it to him.
Yeah.
He said, "You can play it with your wife." I don't want
there you go.
play it again.
All right, gentlemen.
Have fun.
You have a good afternoon. I'll see you on the flip side.
Yep.
Later, brother.
Later,
Bye-bye.
Vic. What are you painting over there, Squirrel?
I am painting some. Oh, hold on. I got a cat on my lap here. He's curious. Oh, there he goes. I got some 15 millimeter medieval, like 12th through 14th century figures.
Nice.
Let me see. Where's here? Would you mind holding this over here? I'm trying to get one to focus in. I don't know if it will or not. I don't know how this light's going to react. Let me see this.
It looks good. I remember when I played Flames of War. Boy, did I paint a lot of 15 mil figures. Because I had a Soviet army.
Okay.
And, you're playing the Soviets, so you know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Infantry.
And wait, there's more infantry.
Yeah, wait. I had so much infantry that I could run 3 lines of infantry across a 6-foot table. So I would interlock them so that it was kind of like cheating. If someone attacks you, if there's a friendly unit within so many inches of the unit being attacked, it can pile in, right?
Yeah.
So if anyone attacked any of the guys on my line, they were going to face all 3 divisions. and then in the back of the table, like you've heard the story before, I had the Red God of War, which is like 12 artillery pieces.
Yeah.
And I would just set the infantry up. Turn 1, I'd try to dig everyone in. And whoever didn't dig in, turn 2, dig them in. And then just start dropping artillery templates on everything. And I had people literally just quit the game.
Yeah.
Because they're like, there's no way I can beat you. And I was like, I know.
Yeah, I know.
But then I just got like tired of never losing.
Yeah.
And then in bold action, it was kind of like that. So that's why I built the Italian army, because everybody knows the Italian army is not a very good army in bold action. So, of course, I built one. And I've only won once with it, but boy, that once was sweet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes it even more savory to win with the crappy unit, crappy team.
Yeah. I took out my enemy's Sherman tank with a Fiat M41 Should never. I mean, but I rolled like nothing but sixes during
I was
that.
going to say you had to have the miracle of dice rolls.
Yeah, it was like I hit, then I penetrated armor, which I need a 6, and then when I rolled for what I did it damage wise, I rolled a 6, so the tank got destroyed. And
Nice.
then after that, my armored car, my Italian armored car, has got a autocannon on it and a machine gun. Just started running around smoking infantry.
Oh well, yeah, it's just zipping around that armored car. Yeah, pop, 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 boom, boom.
Sacha, my thoughts on Trench Crusade is I haven't made my mind up or not on whether it's like super heretical. The idea that they could clone Jesus and then like put him inside a suit of armor and all that sort of thing. And also, I was part of the Discord when the mods, I guess this is 6 months ago or so, went freaking hyper woke and just started banning anybody that they thought might be, right wing at all. So they banned my ass. And then they don't even make the miniatures. They just sell STLs, but they're so expensive. Like I'm used to paying like $2 for an STL, for if it's like an infantryman, you might pay $5 for a 10-man squad with like different weapon options, and you can just mix and match and do what you want. But they're wanting like $25 for like one STL. It's like, no, you're not Games Workshop. But I mean, at first it seemed really, really interesting. And then, yeah, the mods went nuts, and some of the stuff kind of, like I said, I won't get into it, but some of the stuff kind of made me be like, no. I mean, the idea of it is awesome, that a demon gate opened in Jerusalem and now everybody's trying to fight all these demons. But they crossed a couple lines there that I'm not very comfortable with. Let's just say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you go on religious themes and stuff. It can be easy. You get carried away across some lines,
Well, I mean, my main issue is their handling of the Christian forces, and it's not very good. I mean, it's not good. And
Yeah, I hear you.
The game design team, they could be, because it's like OSE, Old School Essentials. The actual creator, you never hear from that dude. There's like one interview of him online or something, and so whatever, right? But Exalted Funeral or whatever, which distributes his game, are a bunch of jackasses. They're like the worst people ever.
Really?
Oh yeah. I flounced out of their Discord. I called them a bunch of fags, and I was like, well, they got mad at me because I called Jim Sterling, and they're like, he's Stephanie Sterling, and I'm like, no, he's not. I've been watching his videos for 20 years. I know who Jim Sterling is. He's a 50-year-old man. Just because he decides he's gonna do some shit, I was like, don't come at me like that.
Yeah, how dare you dead name? Well, he's not dead. He's just
he's still got a penis. So if you got penis, you're a man.
He's got a mental thing going on.
I think in the case of Jim Sterling, there's nothing mental going on. I think it's 100% bullshit, which means he's actually doing a huge disservice to the trans community.
Yeah,
because
authentic.
It's my opinion that the dude just decided to be trans so that he could remain relevant. because Jim Sterling's relevance was going away quick. You know,
Oh,
nobody
really?
gave a shit what he had to say about anything. But now he can dress up in a wig and claim to be a woman, and now he's relevant again. And you know,
okay.
and that is an issue on YouTube, on Twitter, all of it.
No, it's an issue. He's just on the planet.
Well, the issue is that you have the people who are actually like dealing with the mental issue, dysphoria, and then you got a bunch of assholes pretending to have it.
Yeah, exactly. No, like
Because
yeah,
it's
I agree.
become a, like, you know, way to get clout and whatever. Mansoor Balls says some of the shemales are hot. Dude, you would love Thailand. That's all I got to say about that. If you think some shemales are hot, Thailand is the place for you.
That's what I hear.
Yep. And they don't even try to pretend like they're women. They tell you straight up they're lady boys. Right? So they're not, I mean, I don't know if you could say they're trans because they look like hot women, but they tell you off the bat that they're lady boys.
Yeah, they're not trying to trick you into something.
They're not trying to claim they're women. I agree, Monsieur Balls. It would still be a sin because it would be out of wedlock sex. But if I didn't know, I didn't know. You know, like, let me think of one that I've seen before. If Blair White, if I didn't know who she was and we were in a club and then somehow we ended out in the car and she did some stuff to me with her mouth, I don't think I would be gay because, like, you can't tell. And then if I found out, like, however long later, hey, by the way, did you know that Blair White's a dude actually? I'd be like, oh, shit, you know?
Yeah, I might go puke, but that'd be about it.
Then it would be like the crying game. You know,
Yeah,
I'd be in the
I
shower.
just get over it. Be like, fuck.
Yeah, I'd be in the shower, you know. No, not really.
I wouldn't go to that extreme,
well,
but yeah.
She tricked me then because I keep calling her she too, even though I know that Blair White is a man. Genetically, DNA, whatever. Yeah. She's a man, but
ex-wife.
But Blair White looks so much like a woman that I want to call her she because she looks like a she, even though
he pulls it off rather well.
Better, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, there's people who go to Taiwan specifically for that and don't give a shit. So there you go.
Yes, there are.
I mean, you know, go to Taiwan, hook up with a 17-year-old lady boy. I mean, whatever.
Yep.
That's the kind of shit that goes on over there.
Yeah. If there wasn't, they wouldn't be doing it.
Right? I mean, I'm not saying it's a good thing to do, the right thing to do, that anyone should do it. I would never, ever, you know, try to promote committing a sin. But there are people who do that. So there you go. Yeah, you'd be tricked. If anything, if it offended you enough, you probably would have legal standing to pursue some sort of
emotional damage.
Yeah, like this lady tricked me or this dude tricked me, took advantage of me. I never would have done that.
Yeah, this day and age, you could probably have grounds for that.
I agree with that 100%, not your echo. I will go along with it if, like, you're cool and you're not trying to force shit. Then I'll go along with your delusion just to be a nice guy and not cause any, like, you know, hassle. But if you're one of these, it's man, then I'm going to call you a dude on purpose just to piss you off. It's man, because um, I get real rebellious if I think somebody's trying to force me to act or talk a way that I don't want to. I get really rebellious about that shit because I'm like, maybe it's the American in me. Because I'm like, I'm an American. You don't force me to say shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't stop me from saying whatever I want either. The only way you can go into the prison here is if you try to do some violence against, somebody, or say you're going to, or tell people to do it. And then you get in trouble. But otherwise, yeah, it's my mind, and I know what the truth is. The idea that for the last 10,000 years, everyone knew that there were only two sexes or genders. And then in the last 10 years, well, I got a wife, Monsieur Boss. I've been married for 20 years now. She's a hot little Danish woman. My little Viking queen, I call her. She keeps me around to get shit off the top shelf because she's, short stacked. But I have no interest in anyone. Even when I was in the fire department and I had 19-year-old chicks literally throwing it at me like all the time, I was like, nah, nope, never. Because I gave an oath. I got married to this woman. I promised her I would be true, and I did, because,
that's what you're supposed to do.
Even if she never knew, I would know, and God would know. And God knowing is even worse than me knowing, because, I know when my brother-in-law cheated on his wife, he went and confessed to the priest, and the priest told him he wasn't allowed to take communion or the Holy Sacrament for 10 years. A decade.
Yeah, that's a big, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, do I want to put myself in a position to where I can't ever take communion? No. Because that's part of the deal, that's part of the whole thing. That's part of what we believe. So, no.
I don't
That's
blame
one of
you.
the reasons, even though a lot of people don't like it, that's actually one of the reasons I'm kind of a Christian nationalist. Because Christians are basically, Christian societies are what you call high trust societies. Because most of the people in a Christian society live by Christian morals. So they believe in forgiveness and trust and all this stuff, right?
Yep.
So it is my opinion that societies that are dominated by Christianity are, just going to be better, because the people are going to be more trustworthy. Not all of them. There's always going to be, people who fell. I mean, that's humanity. But just in general, it's not, people aren't going to be running around trying to rip each other off all the time, if they're actually Christians. Whereas an atheist society, I mean, there's nothing stopping you. Yes, I found Orthodoxy, I guess, 10 years ago. So I was actually 40 when I found Orthodoxy. And I was really looking, and I was actually very, very close to converting to Roman Catholicism, because that's what was around as far as I knew. But then I found Orthodoxy, and Roman Catholicism was right out the window. It's like the first time I talked to the priest and everything, I was like, yep, this is my home. This is where I belong, and I'll never go anywhere else. And, and a lot of times, like when I'm on Twitter and people are bitching about stuff, I say, find the nearest Orthodox church, go in there and talk to a priest, maybe convert, take care of yourself, eat right, and shit will work out. You know, you don't have to be depressed. You don't have to feel alone. You know, there's a place for you, and they would love to have you there. And all these guys that are prepping and they're like they're going to do it alone. I got all the people in my church group to lean on. Right. And Orthodox people, unlike most American Protestants, are not opposed to violence if violence needs to be done. You know what I mean? Like, I literally can take my AK-74 into my church and have the priest bless it. And he will.
There you go.
And my AK-74, I took a white marker and drew because it's got black furniture, drew a little Orthodox cross on the stock.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Nice.
You know, just like, I guess maybe it'll give it a bonus damage against undead and unholy creatures.
I was going to say, yeah, maybe a little plus versus undead. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the priest blessed it and put a little bit of holy water on it, and you know, and it's got so I mean, maybe if I shoot a vampire or something with it, the vampire will be like, oh shit, you know.
Ow, that really hurt.
Like, ow, that actually did something there. But a lot of Orthodox people, like right before hunting season, will take their hunting rifles to the church to get them blessed. I've seen like tons of Orthodox people do that. Like, they'll have, like, you'll go in and there'll be a table with just like all the bolt action rifles laid on it, and the priest blessing them all and everything. Because I mean, you know, you need that bonus to hit that deer, you know.
Yes.
Hey, Methodius.
Yeah, that does remind me of that one meme I found online where it was like a Orthodox priest blessing a tank.
Oh,
And
yeah, dude,
stuck.
they got that. It's like, it's a short film.
I know, but there was like an
Film
image
of,
on
like,
there,
290s.
and it's like, oh, there's the healer helping the tank there, or like support, or something like that. I can't remember what the meme exactly was.
Yeah, the one I saw was an Orthodox priest and another guy, and they were standing next to railroad tracks, and there were flat cars going by with T-90 tanks on them, and the Orthodox priest, the one guy had a big bucket of water, and the Orthodox priest was blessing all the tanks with the holy water as they went by, and it's just like, and I was like, there you go. I mean, but yes, apparently the Russian government has set up villages for foreign Christians to move to if they're sick and tired of living in, you know, I mean, and it's not like they're going to give you welfare. If you move there, you're going to have to get a job and do shit.
Yeah.
But if you want to live in a village where everyone else in the village is Christian, they're setting shit up where you could do that, you know? So,
I don't know what I meant to find, but this is funny.
I mean, what a time to be alive, right?
Hey James,
yeah.
you'll need to share this one.
Okay. Did you put it on
Discord? Just in Discord.
Oh, yeah.
I sent it to
The
you.
ship was originally called La Concorde. Oh, he wrote down the whole thing of how Blackbeard got his Queen Anne. Okay. Nice. I missed it when he did it, but we were talking about pirates because I picked up a 2-player skirmish pirate game that comes with a bunch of plastic miniatures for pirates and also ships you can put together.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you like pirates, of course, I chose
like
to
pirates.
play the British.
Mm.
So I'll be a pirate hunter.
Yeah, it does sound
And
pretty
the
cool.
greatest of pirates. You get to gang press others into your navy and everything. So hey, it's like being a pirate without being a pirate.
Right.
Yeah. Legal
Right.
piracy.
You're like the anti-pirate, but you're still doing pirate stuff. Because if you're British and you happen to be at war with Spain, then you see a Spanish treasure ship. I mean, it's time to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dibs.
So this is what Leth wanted to share with me. I don't know if you can see it really good, but it's an Orthodox priest who has broken 19 records for powerlifting.
Well, good
And
for
that-
him.
When the party cleric is also the tank, we got this
I like that.
big ass priest up there doing his thing. I mean, good for him, man. Good for him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I never worked out at all until I actually, when I was in the Army, I worked out all the time, but after that, I kind of didn't. But after I converted, I bought a couple of kettlebells and actually started doing a little stuff here and there.
Yeah, I got me a pair of
Yeah.
15-pound kettlebells.
Yeah, just try and take care of myself a little bit better. And
Yep. Get the blood
And,
flowing. Get the blood flowing, get the heart going, a little motion.
Yeah, just, that's what it is. Just a little bit of
I'm not-
motion and you'll be fine.
I'm not trying for any definition or any, just help burn some calories, get the heart going, get the lungs going, circulation, all that.
Well, there's this Russian dude that's got a YouTube channel. He looks like a normal dude, like any dude walking down the street, but he's a championship powerlifter.
I think I've seen that guy because he does pranks. He does stuff in gyms and stuff like he's a janitor. And
He pretends he's a janitor, and these guys will be powerlifting like 500-600 pounds, and he'll be like, "Can I move this?" And they're like, "What?" And then he'll pick it up and
with
move
one
it
hand.
and mop, and then they're just looking at him like, "What the hell?" Right?
Yep, I like watching that stuff. That's fun.
Yeah. And he's like, "These weights must be fake. They're so light." And the guys who are doing this stuff are like what? What is going on?
Yeah, is this reality?
I'll tell you this right now. I've got the figure, right? When I built my Russian army, even though I was using Oathmark for it, I ordered figures from a guy in Moscow. And one of the figures he sent me was a mounted Orthodox Schema priest with a two-handed axe.
Well, that'd be neat.
Because in the time period we're talking, Orthodox priests fought. I mean, they would be there to bless the troops, but they would also swing an axe. So, but you call them schema because they wear all black, but then they have the white schema, which is, represents the mound that Christ was crucified on and his the way he conquered death and all that sort of thing. Not easy to paint. Not easy to paint, but
I bet.
That's just the thing that, but old school Roman priests would fight too, It's mainly like different Protestant religions that decided that Christianity was really going to be passive. I'm not 100% sure why that the Protestants decided that, but they did. And I don't think it's done them any favors because they're, let's be super passive and whatever, is just allowed people to walk all over them and corrupt their religion. And now you've got pride flags in Baptist churches and shit like that.
Yeah.
But whereas, you'll never see that in an Orthodox church.
You shouldn't see it in any church.
Because, they'd be like, nope. But, I mean, whatever. I don't want to get in too deep into that. But yes, I will say this. Orthodoxy changed my entire life.
And it was for better, and that's awesome.
For better. 100% for better.
That's pardon the phrase, but that's the name of the game when it comes to religion. Change your life for the better. And if it don't do that, then you're doing something wrong, or the religion's doing something wrong, or both.
Well, Prime, like I've told you, the church I go to is ROCOR. So, Saint Sophia is ROCOR. But they just opened a St. John's, and it's like way, way closer to my house. And I think it's Orthodox Church of America. So at some point, I need to drag my ass to that, to see what the differences are,
Yeah, check it out.
check it out and see if it's for me. I mean, a lot of people will tell you the Russian church tends to be kind of the most strict when it comes to certain things, and the Greek church tends to be the least strict. ROCOR stands for Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia. There's no E at the end. Saint Sophia is the name of the church because we have a saint named Sophia. And also Sophia in Greek means wisdom. So, yeah. I mean, now my dream, Satya, is to one day take a tour of St. Petersburg and Moscow and see all of the cathedrals.
That would be nice to see that. That is
Well, we were going to do that, and then a war broke out. My wife and I were actually literally like 100% planning it. And then
that would be nice. Beautiful architecture.
Yeah, and from what I understand, they've really cleaned it up now. So unless you go looking for trouble, you'll be all right. It's not like it, they on YouTube, they try to make it out like it's overrun with Gopniks, but that's just really not a thing. Exactly. So my patriarch is the Patriarch of Moscow. That's the hierarchy,
Okay.
But the priest that I talk to all the time, whose real name is Ivan, he doesn't get paid for being a priest. He's married. He's got like 5 kids, and he drives a truck over the road all week out of Chicago. Because apparently in Chicago, there are a lot of Russians, and a lot of them own long-distance truck companies.
Yes, they do.
So he goes up there and he drives the truck all week to make the money to take care of his family. And then he comes down here and he is the priest. There's actually 2 of them because he don't speak Spanish. And,
translators, priest.
And
whatever,
to be honest, he don't speak very good English either, but he does his best. And then we've got the other priest who is an American, but speaks Spanish pretty good. So when they do mass in Spanish, Russian, and English, so that no matter who you are, you can, get the mass that you need for your language.
Well, that's good.
Trips to Russia. I'm hoping after January, whatever.
January 6th, which is Inauguration Day.
Yep. Maybe after January 6th, shit'll settle down and
heck, it almost seems like shit is already settling down.
Well, I mean, I saw an interview with Zelensky, and he was saying point blank, if America stops sending him money, it will be impossible for him to win.
It was already impossible for him to win anyway.
Right. It's like it's already impossible for you to win. You're not going to win. So hopefully the current administration doesn't figure out a way to get us involved in a hot war.
They're already trying.
Which I'm not sure we could win. And I hope people don't think that makes me sound like I'm un-American, because I don't want to sound like I'm not a patriot. But on the other hand, I'm just not sure.
I think even if we could win,
a lot of Americans has what it takes to go halfway across the world and fight a real war against a real army.
I think even if we did win, it'd be a Pyrrhic victory. It's like not worth it.
Dude, can you imagine sending some of these Gen Z millennial assholes over to Russia to fight?
I get that. And yeah, that's part of it. I think if
They'd
we
be
did win,
trying so hard. I mean, all the Russian soldiers would have to do is use the wrong freaking pronouns,
pronoun.
and they'd be
If we
just
did,
sitting in the trench crying about it.
our biggest possibility of winning is using our tech to win, but I don't see that working. And even if it did, it would just be a very Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah, that's if we won,
Yeah,
and that's if everybody didn't start slinging nukes all over the place like freaking Halloween
exactly.
candy. You know, there's a lot of ifs there that I don't want to be a part of. Me, I'll be up in the mountains. That's where I'll be. My wife already said, if it looks like it's going to turn hot, we are leaving the state of Florida. We are going back home to the mountains because there's nothing really worth nuking in that state. And we could live forever up there.
I guess it's a good thing I'm in that state still.
Yeah. Like, you know, I can kill enough squirrels, rabbits, deer, pigs, whatever, that we could survive up there basically forever. And we got well water. So we wouldn't even need electricity or anything, you know? We'd go back to living like it was the 1800s. But we'd be alive.
Yeah.
There's something to say for that, right?
Yep.
We'd be alive. And I bought a bunch of spam cans of Bulgarian AK-74 ammo, so I'm not too worried about running out.
I think most of what we do is probably fish a lot.
Oh yeah, we'd be pulling catfish out of the river like all the time.
We'd probably go for more like bluegill.
Yeah, that's daytime fish. They're good though. They're good eating. They taste good. Bluegill and grannies and crappie and smallmouth bass.
My
Maybe
dad's
Bottom
striper.
my dad's
Bottom
not a
line
fan
is
of crappie.
Yeah. Why'd you say squirrel hermit?
Bottom line, it's food.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if you go down to the Cumberland River, that place is full of catfish. People have pulled them out of there weighing 90 to 100 pounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with rabbits, you gotta add fat. Otherwise, you get that freaking the rabbit disease, where you can actually eat rabbit and die from starvation because there's
You're dying of
so little
starvation. It's
fat
not
on
really
it.
a disease.
Yeah, it's not a disease, but it's just a thing that can happen.
Yeah, rabbit's a very lean creature.
Yeah,
You need
because
something else.
there's no fat on it. So if you don't somehow find a way to add fat to it, but that's easy because the way we do rabbit is like fried chicken,
Yeah, fry it.
and we cook it in lard.
Yep.
So you ain't got to worry about it having fat content. It's got fat content.
I've been trying to convince Adarok into getting us a few rabbits for harvesting. She's never had them.
They're all right. I mean, you know,
My dad
You're
doesn't
good.
like wild rabbit.
I've never ate a tame rabbit. Tame rabbits have always been
Pet.
pets. But if
Yeah.
I'm walking through the woods and I see, you know, a wild rabbit out there, I might take a shot at it, you know.
That's more
Pop
fan
it
of
and bring it home.
squirrel.
Squirrels, we'll go out and you know how those mountain squirrels are big.
Oh yeah, squirrel pot pie. Mm-mm-mm.
And we'll go out and kill a bushel of squirrels or so and just bring them home and skin them out. And some people will buy the skins off of you. So if you want to like prepare the skins and nail them up, you can.
Yeah.
But then we fry them just like you do chicken. You know, as a matter of fact, that's what all we did is fry everything in pork lard.
Yeah, that's about right. Fry everything.
I don't live far enough south for the iguanas, Prime. But I do know people down in like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, like the really rich part of Florida, you know, down there, like near Miami Beach and stuff. They pay people to go out on the golf cart courses and shit to kill iguanas. And there's a YouTube channel where this guy uses an air rifle. But it's not like the air rifles you had when you were a kid that you'd pump up and bing with a BB. These things fire like 357 caliber bullets, and they've got like canisters of super high compressed air. And these dudes will go out and kill 20, 30 iguanas. And a lot of times Haitians or Puerto Ricans will take the iguanas off of them because apparently they call it the chicken of the tree. So, I mean, I can't talk shit. I've ate reptile. I've ate alligator. I've ate some snake. I've ate some turtles.
Probably edible. I love turtle soup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Crocs. Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with one. Because it's as likely to eat you as you are to eat it.
Turtle soup would have been pretty easy for us to get. I mean, our dogs kept on bringing us turtles.
That's the thing with a crocodile. Alligators, typically, you're pretty safe around them. Which is not to say run up and pat it on the snout or any stupid shit like that. Don't let your kid play right next to the edge of the pond, etc. Obviously, because a 9-10 foot alligator will take it.
Yeah.
But in general, they're not aggressive. However, the Florida crocodile and the Nile crocodile are freaking aggressive. They come after you. Yeah. And so, but luckily, they can't live where I am.
That's like the difference between them.
So they live down in near Okeechobee in the freaking Everglades. And that area, we got saltwater crocodiles down here too.
It's like the difference between a black bear and a grizzly bear. I mean,
yeah,
you don't want to get in a fight with either one, but most likely the black bear is going to like say, "Yeah, you're on two legs and you smell funny. I'm leaving."
Yeah, if you see a black bear, all you got to do is make yourself as big as you can and yell at it. And 99% of the time, it's going to be like, "Nah, I don't want any of that. Thank you, but no thank you." And
99% of the time, the grizzly's going to say, "Ooh, lunch."
It's like this lunch is very uppity.
Yeah, Crocs like to hang out near the power, the outlets from power stations too, because the power stations are always pumping it's clean water, but it's warm because it's already been ran through, turned into steam, and then spun the whatever, and then it condenses and they let it out. So it's warm water, and Crocs will lay like in that, like where it goes into the ocean. You'll have just a bunch of Crocs just hanging out in that warm water. They like it.
Oh, heck yeah.
But then again too, you know what else is in the Everglades? Pythons.
Yes.
Green pythons, reticulated pythons, boa constrictors, because when Hurricane Charlie came through, it destroyed a shit ton of pet shops.
Yeah, and plus all the people that had them private
just went on about their way.
Yeah, and all the ones that were private, owned as well, their houses. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was Charlie. And then after that, the next thing you know, guys are out in the Everglades hunting, and they're seeing 12-foot snakes. And they're like, and that's not as big as a green python can get. Those things can get closer to 20 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're turning into monsters.
Yeah, and they will eat a little alligator. They'll eat a little anything. I was
going to say anything.
Yeah, if they can get it in their mouth, they're going to eat it.
Yep.
But like we said the other day, Jose, Florida is America's version of Australia.
Yeah.
we have all the bugs that'll give you malaria. We've got all the animals that will eat you. The only way Florida could be worse is if we had a breed of like polar bear that lived here. Like that's the only thing the North has on Florida. They got polar bears. And polar bears, you know the saying, if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay on the ground. If it's white, go to the light. Because
that's where you're ending up.
polar bears are KOS to humans.
Yes.
Or reverse that. Humans are KOS to polar bears.
Yeah. Now polar bears will stalk and hunt you.
Yeah, they are one of the few animals on the planet that are natural eaters of humans. We are on the menu to them.
They will stalk and hunt you for days, weeks if necessary.
Yeah, they will follow a group of Inuit across the ice for weeks.
Yep. Grizzlies won't do that. They'll give up. I mean,
yeah,
usually,
grizzly, unless it's got babies or just feeling really freaking grumpy, a lot of times you can back out of that. But polar bear, you can't back out of polar bear. Once it decides it's going to eat you, it's going to try.
They're the jaguars of bears or tigers of something like that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at. They will stalk and hunt prey for days, if not weeks.
Yeah, I remember that scientist put himself in this giant, like, super hard clear plastic bubble, and he was filming, and the polar bears were trying their hardest to get in, or break it open. They were going to eat him.
Yeah. They
interviewed him. He said, "Yeah, those polar bears wanted to eat me for sure." They were like, they were like, "How do I get to the squishy treat on the inside of this thing here?" You know,
how do I get to that two-legged Twinkie?
When I was up there, I can tell you this: you didn't go anywhere without a high caliber pistol.
No,
like my biological dad, who I was up there, and Hungar lived up there. He carried a 357 Magnum. Had like an 8-inch barrel, a revolver, and it was 100% for bears.
Yeah,
I'll just take a BFR that's chambered in 4570 government.
I mean, you could have took bigger things. I'm saying that is the kind of thing he kept in his tackle box.
I think that is the biggest revolver, actually.
I mean,
BFR
357 Magnum would go through a damn engine block.
Yeah, well, so
if you unload that into a bear's face, it's pretty much going to be done.
4570 government is a rifle round.
I know what the 4570 is. That's what they use for those scout rifles.
Yes.
Those lever action scout rifles.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to dislocate a shoulder, that's a good round. It'll do it.
The BFR weighs just as much as my AR.
And the thing is, the scout rifle, there's nothing on the planet that thing couldn't kill. Which is why scouts carry it. Because you're out in the wilderness, say in the Colorados or something, and you're like guiding somebody who wants to hunt bighorn sheep, and they've got their 30-06 or whatever.
Again, I find it
you
funny.
run up on a grizzly, you whack them with that freaking scout rifle, and they die because it's just like.
I still find it funny that there's actually a revolver that weighs more than my rifle.
Oh, I'm sure, man.
Because again, the BFR that I was telling you, it weighs over 9 pounds.
My AR, the weight changes depending on which upper I have on it.
That's fair. Mine's around, I can't remember.
Mine's around 5 pounds if I got the 5.56 upper on.
Yeah, that's about right.
If I put the 300 blackout on, then it's a bit heavier.
Heck, I mean, that thing's about the same weight as my K98 actually, which is around 9 pounds.
Yeah, I found some relatively decently priced 220 grain subsonic. So I picked up
nice.
100 rounds.
Oh, James, talking about the guns and stuff.
RPG Dad, what is up?
I want to know.
Hey, RPG Dad, what's up, brother?
Do you actually have to be part of Orthodox Church to get them to bless your gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's super easy to become part of it. You just gotta get somebody to say that they'll be your sponsor, which is not hard unless you're a total douchebag. And then you go through the catechism, and then you become a catechumen, basically. And that's where they teach you the doctrine and everything, so that you're not out there in the streets spreading, falsehoods. And then you get baptized, and you are now Orthodox. So basically, it takes like a month. It might take longer if you're like, you have a hard time grasping shit, or if they have some doubts or something.
Yeah,
But
it
if
might be
you
a little
go in
more.
there and you're like 100% like legit, and you listen and you don't question stuff all the time, and whatever, it'll be quick,
Just wish there was
especially if you're like me. Before I even talked to the first priest, I read all of Bishop Ware's books, and he's an Orthodox priest who writes about, the history of the church and everything like that. So I rolled in there kind of prepared. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Did your homework.
I was like, Pablo, I thought you meant like just at all. I was like, well, I wouldn't say fortunately on that. Firing the firearms.
And honestly, I can't even speak for the priest, because he might bless your firearm, even though you're heterodox. He might. I don't know. I'm not sure. And I shouldn't say, because,
I mean, I would become part of an Orthodox church if I could. I mean, it's just there's not really many around here.
Yeah, no, I was looking for when I move up there, and there's like one in Lexington, and it's like, gosh, man.
Yeah.
But they're starting to pop up all over the place, because there's more and more interest in them, mostly young, amongst middle-aged men. Like, something about the Orthodox faith really, really appeals to millennial men. Like, not the soy boy millennials, but the actual,
I know what you mean.
out there working a job,
Yep. Probably something. Probably the appeal of a structure.
Yeah. Like they want that,
In my opinion, millennials,
James,
for some reason,
if you
don't
lived as a
have that
millennial
structure.
around other millennials, you'd want something like the Orthodox Church.
Yeah, that's what Squirrel Hermit was saying. That it's basically, young men who are kind of lost in modern society, and they want structure. But on top of the structure, they're getting salvation. So Jose has never fired a firearm, fortunately, at people. Unfortunately, Jose, I have. And yeah, it sucks. It's not, wouldn't recommend it. Let's say that.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's what you get paid to do.
Or you have to do.
Yeah, don't do it unless your life depends on it.
Yeah.
So it's like that freaking song by what's his name from the Beatles.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just live and let die. Right?
Yep.
What does it matter to you when you got a job to do? You got to do it well. You got to give the other fella hell. Dun, 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 dun. It was from a James Bond movie too.
Yeah, I think
Paul
McCartney wrote that or did that.
Yeah, it was the one guy from the Beatles, McCarthy. Yeah.
Yep, Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney. Yeah. But I mean, I joined the Army. I took an oath of service. They sent me to the desert. I did shit. Then I come home. And to this day, I don't really think we should have been meddling around over there. But hey, that's just my opinion. And even though I had that opinion while we were over there meddling around, it doesn't change the fact that I'd given an oath to do a job. And so I did my job. Even if it was a distasteful job. Because I'll be honest with you, most of the Iraqi we ended up capturing did not want to fight. And a lot of them, if they got a chance, would just surrender. They were not interested in trying to duke it out with us. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I got to where I actually liked the Iraqi people way more than I liked the Saudis. I got to where I kind of hated the Saudis because when you deal with them, they're just dicks, But the Iraqis we were capturing and letting the MPs take to wherever they went, these were like falafel stand owners and freaking shoemakers. These were like normal people who had a job.
Yeah, blue collar grunt.
They've got a freaking old beat up AK shoved into their hands, and they're told to guard some area from us. Like that's ever going to happen, Now, when we fought against the Hammurabi division, which was one of the divisions from the Republican Guard, those dudes, they put up a pretty good fight. But unfortunately for them, our technological advantage was so great that even though they didn't surrender and they tried to fight back, it didn't matter, because they're still cruising around in like T-55s, maybe T-72s, and we're hitting them in the middle of the night with M1A1s, Bradleys, freaking Apache attack helicopters. So it's just like, they gave it a go, but it didn't work out for them. So, and then the ones we captured the next morning, like every one of them we captured spoke English better than I did. And one of them, an officer we captured, which we had to turn over to military intelligence. That dude had went to college in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Because when we were holding him, we're like, how do you speak English so good? He's like, I got my degree at the University of Wisconsin. And I was like, bro, you should have stayed there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, but yeah, they had good equipment compared to the other guys. They had a lot better equipment and everything, but really it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
No.
Yeah, they're still using the old Soviet stuff without any of the new Soviet whatever. So an M1A1 with that Rheinmetall 120 millimeter will smoke one of those tanks at like 2 kilometers. So they don't even see what's killing them. You know what I mean? Which I guess is a good way to go. You're kind of cruising around in a tank, and then the next thing you know, you're wherever God decides to send you. I mean, I've got an idea about it because they're all Muslims, but I don't want to be hyper negative. Well, hell, it's part of the Muslim belief that when you die, you go to hell.
Yeah.
Because you have to have all your sins burned away before you can go to heaven. But regardless, it was a weird time in my life. I just turned 19 years old. So, like that old song by Hardcastle, you remember from Vietnam, the 19. I was talking about the average age of a combat soldier was 19. Well, it is true in my case. I just turned 19. So,
yeah, you can't legally drink at 19, can you?
No.
You're not supposed to, but the S4 on base, they never checked anyone's ID.
No, not on base. Come on, you're out there
We
swinging
got
and
an
dodging
on-base
bullets.
liquor store at Fort Stewart, and it's like they would sell all the alcohol you can imagine, and it was all tax-free. So like a liter of good bourbon would cost you like $7,
Oh, that's nice.
or a flat of 24 Bush Tall Boys would be like, $9, $10, something like that.
I might just buy me a little bit of good bourbon January just to have a little bit of a celebration.
Yeah. But so that's what you did. You just go down to the on-base liquor store because for one, you don't got to pay taxes. Because it turns out like a third or 2/3 of the cost of all the alcohol you buy in America is taxes.
Yep.
It's
One
like,
thing Grognard said, turning the other cheek, that was never meant to be a pacifist thing.
yeah, for
That's the
some
meaning
reason,
at all.
so many people have taken that one. That's one that's been taken way, way out of away from the meaning, and the other one is the "thou shalt not judge." That one is also super taken out of meaning by heterodox people.
But wasn't turning the other cheek actually just like telling him to show a bit of disrespect to those that thought they were superior to you?
Kinda, yeah. And I've heard priests say that you can turn the other cheek if somebody insults you personally, but if they are attacking the faith, there's no turning the other cheek, and there's no mercy either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, which is why when the Romans or whoever tried to convert the Orthodox to whichever religion they were trying, it didn't work. The Russians rose up and fought. And even under Stalin and the communists, they refused to give up their religion. That's called the era of the cave church, because Orthodox people would sneak out in the woods and hold services in caves and stuff.
Yep.
Because they refused to give up their faith, which pissed Stalin off. But then World War II came around and he loosened up on that because he realized, hey, I can't go on like persecuting my people while the Germans are knocking on the front door. We need to,
Yeah, we need to have all the national morale we can.
Right. We need everybody who can fight. So, yeah. So that happened. And, I know all this because I've read Bishop Ware's book on the history of Orthodoxy, which some people will say is some dry reading. And I'm one of those people who would say, yeah, it's pretty dry because it is a no-nonsense history book. It's
history's
like,
always dry.
At this time, this happened, blah, blah, blah. And it just goes through. But then his other book on Orthodoxy is it's like actually kind of fun to read because he's just talking about the church, and like, different beliefs and doctrines and why we believe what we believe. And, and so that one's a lot better,
I think I'm going to have to head off here for now. I'll see you.
I'll see you later.
Later, brother.
Our homeboy from Central Kentucky.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, he's a flatlander. I mean, still a homeboy, though, but definitely a flatlander. He lives in, actual farm country where they grow all the soybeans and shit.
Well, somebody got to do it.
Yeah, Prime, I've heard about that too, that the powdered depleted uranium caused all kinds of like birth defects and crazy shit. Sad.
Sure it did.
It's sad. That's all I can say about it. But it's like it's not that I wouldn't fight in a war if it was a just war. Even at 50 years old, I would be willing to fight in the war. But I don't think we've had a just war in a long, long time.
No, we have not.
And that makes me be all like, maybe we need to calm down. You're in Costa Rica? Nice. See, I thought you were Brazilian, Jose. It must have been someone else that I used to talk to that was Brazilian. But yeah, Costa Rica, man, paradise down there. I know a lot of Americans retire down there. We have a nice island up here that's part of the United States called St. Thomas. And you can actually take a flight out of Miami to St. Thomas, and it's like, you know, a 15-minute flight, and then you land and you're on a tropical Caribbean island. And it's part of the United States, so you don't need like passports or anything.
Yeah, it's a territory.
And you can just go there and rent a hut and hang out on the beach and drink and relax. The whole country is a lost corner where there is no. Well, then, Jose, now you know what your life's goal is. To convert a couple of other players into BattleTech fans like you are. As long as you can get one or two, you're good. You know? It's like 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. It's very expensive. Yeah, I don't know how your currency does with America, especially because it's got to be shipped there. But you can get like the actual whole game with 8 miniatures for like $50 US now on Amazon. But I don't know if you guys use pesos or dollars. I have to admit, I don't know a lot about Costa Rica.
Yeah, maybe, 3D printer and STLs or something, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, that one guy, Mark whatever, he makes amazing STLs of like every BattleTech figure ever. And,
it's got to be out
and
there.
they're free. So
They got everything now for STLs. Everything you could think of and some you didn't.
yep. Some people may not know it, but I have a 3D printed waifu. I don't know why I did it. I saw it and I was like, I need to 3D print that. But you can barely see her up there. And apparently it's some anime character at the beach. I need to paint her eyes. She looks weird with no eyes. But otherwise she's painted. My mom wants me to give the figure to her because my mom says she will hand make a kimono for her. And she would too. My mom would too. She loves dolls.
Well, there you go. There's something else you could do with that 3D printer. Give mom some dolls here and there to dress up and whatever.
Yeah, that lady was like in 5 parts. It was like the upper torso, the legs, the arms, the head, the hair. And it had options for the hair and, whatever. Like there's a bow on her, but you didn't have to put the bow on her. You could have just, And then I don't know if you guys saw it, but right next to her is a giant frost giant. And right behind the frost giant is a UH-1 Huey.
I was going to say, I see a helicopter.
Yeah, an Iroquois gunship. So it's got like the rotary gun sticking out of both sides.
Nice.
Yeah. And there's a gray gunship, or this one's not a gunship. That's an ambulance. The gray one I'm pointing at, you probably can't really see. But like, I can't move my camera, but.
Yeah, right there. I see it.
And then I've got my 2 113s. And, other stuff. In one of these tin cans, I've got like a whole damn company of Russian vehicles, like modern Russian vehicles. BMPs and BMDRs and BTRs and I've got like a bunch of American stuff too. I've got like a Bradley, one of the wheeled vehicles that are supposed to be really good against improvised explosives, an M1 tank, an M60 tank, all kinds of strikers, like 2 or 3 strikers.
Neat.
Well, because if we were talking about maybe playing Twilight 2000, and I was going to run that shit at 28 millimeter scale because I've got all the modern American, Russian, whatever soldiers like sitting here right in front of me right now, and I need to finish painting him. Is a Russian soldier with a Pinacheg machine gun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you see how it's got the box underneath with the ammo feeding into it?
Yep.
And, I need to paint that thing black because it's got green on it. But, yeah, so I've got Russian soldiers. I've got American soldiers that are moderns. I even have just random modern civilians. Well, I mean, some of this is me going crazy, Jose, with my 3D printer and just 3D printing shit for no good reason. And some of this is years and years and years of collecting. Like a lot of the things I show you, I've had, like when I show you these dark elves I have up here for Warhammer, I have had these dark elves for like, I don't know, 15, 20 years.
Yep.
Because back when Warhammer Fantasy was an actual thing, I would go to the comic shop every Saturday and play Warhammer Fantasy against whoever was willing to play 2,500 points. And I played Dark Elves. I don't know why. Like in life, I like to think I'm a good guy. But in war games, fantasy war games, I almost always play the bad guy.
Well,
and like there's
part of
no
the
thing
thing,
in
man.
Warhammer that's more of a bad guy than the Dark Elves. They are absolutely horrible. Like they make Chaos look like a bunch of chumps. You know what I mean? Like Chaos might be doing some bad shit, and the Dark Elves roll up, and they're just like, "Hold my beer,"
What?
Watch this shit, and it's like, wow. But that's how it is. That's how it is, Dark Elves are brutal because Chaos is doing what they're doing because of their gods and the fact that they're crazy as shit. The Dark Elves are evil because they enjoy it. Like they made a conscious decision to be evil as shit. And they decided to follow through with that. So, yeah. There is that. So, yeah, as a matter of fact, in the book, it says that a lot of the Dark Elves actually wear clothes that are made out of tanned human skin. And orc hide is one of the favorite things for making saddles for their cold ones. Oh, Battle Mech. Yeah, mech STLs are so easy to find. But the ones that I was using are from my mini factory and they were free. And that dude had every mech that is in the MechWarrior Online game. And not only every mech, but like variants too. So if you wanted like a specific variant of a mech, like the Wolfhound, dude's got like 6 variants of the Wolfhound. In case you want the one that has all the medium lasers or the one that doesn't have all the medium lasers, but has something else. I mean, yeah.
All right. Hey, Brother James.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to get off here. I'm going to eat some dinner. I'm going to do some piddling around.
Well, go in peace, my brother in Christ.
I love you, my man. We'll keep in touch. You know it, babe.
Yeah, hey, I'm so glad you could just drop in.
I appreciate the invite, even though it was in the text, general chat or whatever. Still, my man.
Well, I
love
mean,
you,
but
man.
you should know that you're always invited.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
Like the invitation for you is constant and irrevocable.
I appreciate that, brother.
Hey, no problem, man.
All right, love you guys. Good luck. God bless to the family and the friends.
Thank you. And the same to you. Yep, Squirrel Hermit. One of the good ones. And he's got some good videos too. You guys, if you haven't watched them, he's got some really good videos about initiative and role playing. And he has decided to start doing a lot of his D&D role playing or whatever game he's playing at 15 millimeter. So instead of inches, it's actually like centimeters. And so pretty much 15 mil, all the miniatures are super cheap. And you can kind of, if you want it to rain at 15 mil, it's literally no problem, Like you can get tons of stuff at 15 mil. It's not even a whatever. We got a Raven talking to Jose. Good, because I was getting ready to say, Jose, Raven's a guy to talk to. He knows a ton about Battletech. Pretty much anything you want to know about Battletech, Raven knows about Battletech. He is definitely the Battletech master. All right. Don't expect to be on too much longer. Maybe just a bit. But I'll throw that out there in case, anybody wants to do something, just cause. But pants are optional, yeah, right. Well, I'm matching, so I can't complain. I got my Adidas shirt on and my Adidas pants on and my Adidas sneakers, and they're all black with white stripes. Well, I mean, you've got Destiny, and like I was saying, and I need to make a video about it, you really don't need miniatures to play MechWarrior Destiny. You really don't. You can handle it all, theater of the mind, or you can just use like a piece of paper to kind of draw out where people are and what's going on. And I mean, so yeah. Destiny's a great game for that. All right, give this guy a pistol. He's got his shotgun. He's got his pistol. I don't know. Should I throw a badge on that guy? Should he be a law dog? Yeah, well, I mean, I say do it. I think I'm going to throw a badge on the guy. He looks like the kind of guy that's on his way to the OK Corral to kill some cowboys or something. So let me see if I can find a badge for him. Oh, one more badge left. So nice. Nice. Yeah, these ones are from a company called Dead Man's Hand. And apparently they have a miniatures game to go with them. And they also link to where you can get MDF board, like punch out old West buildings to set up like the town that you're going to have your meeting at dawn or noon, you know. They just came out with these, so I picked them up. These are female gunslingers. And of course, I had to pick these up because I have 2 or 3 women, depending, playing at my table. So, you know, like my wife's character, she might be a photographer, but she's still pretty good with her Derringer. You know what I mean? If it comes down to that. And of course, I didn't see any figures that I thought would count as a hucksters so well. So I 3D printed a huckster because there was an STL of a huckster. You know, he's all dressed in a suit. And he's got like his hand of cards and, you know, a stupid looking grin on his face because he's getting ready to play poker with the demon. And if he loses, he's not going to be in a good place. But if he wins, he'll get some magic done. Of course, I'm talking about Deadlands. And Raven, if you're still in the chat, yes, I went on to Amazon and I bought real Deadlands, the orange books, you know, because I like the idea of drawing cards and all that kind of stuff. And I like the original setting for obvious reasons. I think you understand. So, yeah, the newer one, they can do whatever they want, but I'm going to keep playing the Deadlands that I know. I even picked up the map. I need to hang it up, but you can get a Deadlands map that's like 3 foot by however big. And, you know, it's got like, it actually has stuff on it I don't remember because it's been so long since I played Deadlands, but it's got like the Lakota Nation. So apparently some of the native tribes have just straight up become nations, you know, and then you got the Confederacy and the Union and the Maze that used to be California. And, you know, so pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. So let's see. You can go with this, or you can go with that, or you can go with this, or you can go with that. You could go with this, or you could go with that, or you could go with this. Right? Walk without rhythm, and you won't attract the worm. Walk without rhythm, and you won't attract the worm. Walk without rhythm, and you won't attract the worm. But if you walk without rhythm, you'll never learn. Prime, you could make a whole freaking you could make a whole traveler campaign out of ex-military traveler characters trying to organize and lead, you know, revolutionaries on some world or other. Yeah, Jose, in the original Deadlands, I don't know about the new Deadlands, a massive earthquake happened and like the majority of California just fell into the ocean, but some of it didn't. And so now California is like a maze where there's like islands that are just still just standing there, you know, like pillars. And you can run into pirates there, Mexican nationals, like their army or navy, Chinese pirates in the northern parts. It's crazy. And then Los Angeles is still there, rebuilt, kind of, but they call it the City of Lost Angels. And I'm not going to ruin anything for you, but, you know, go there and see what's up. if you ever played the game. Yeah, the City of Lost Angels. Yeah, Raven is definitely the guy you want to hook up with if you want to talk BattleTech. 100%. 100. But Raven, just FYI, I don't know if you're aware of this, but that Blood and Plunder game that they kickstarted, the 2-player box set is on sale for like, they took a third off. And it comes with enough miniatures like these, you got to put them together to make 2 crews, and it comes with 2 sloops, like, you know, that were used by pirates during the 18th century or whatever, 17th century or whatever. So for a very, I would say, not that great of an investment, that might be a good skirmish game. Your wife might love it. I mean, if you guys like the whole pirate era, you know, like I bought a gang separate of the starter box of British sailors. And the box comes with the British Lieutenant Maynard. And it comes with Edward Teach, Blackbeard. So, yeah, I don't know how you feel about, you know, duking it out over Port Royale, but there is a game that covers that. So there you go. I have equipped a couple, like 3 of these guys with shotguns because I know my players. And I know that they're all, if they can get their hands on a 12-gauge shotgun, they're going to. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know those guys. But to be honest, I mean, why wouldn't you, right? I mean, a 12-gauge double barrel, when you got to handle business, nothing handles business better than that. You know? And now I'm going to put a pistol on his waist because, you know, after he empties that 12-gauge, he's going to want to have his handy 45 or 44 or 36 caliber, but one of those, just depending. If he's using a Navy Colt revolver like most Confederate officers did, it'd be 36. If he's using the Union Colt revolver, it'll be a 44. And there's also 45s, you know. But, yeah, sit here and put these together. Well, I mean, that means, Prime, that you're more concerned with protecting the homeland than you are with invading people, which I agree with 100%. Protect the homeland. Stop invading everybody. But there was a time when that was considered to be a virtuous stance. You know what I mean? The whole no more war, no more whatever. That was the virtuous stance. But now, that's, for whatever reason, not considered to be a virtuous stance. It's considered to be almost treasonous, which is so weird, you know? It's like everything is mutated. I mean, never forget, 6 months ago, the Democrat Party was calling the Cheneys war criminals. And then they turned around and freaking now they're talking about how awesome they are and they're the best, blah, blah, blah. And I'm all like, no, they're still war criminals. You know what I mean? Canopus characters, that would be fun. It's like they're still war characters or war criminals. And then you look at the Republican ticket and it's mostly Democrats. Vance is the only one that has never been a Democrat. Trump was a Democrat. Gabbard's a Democrat. RFK's a Democrat. Vivek, I think, might have been a Democrat for a minute. So basically, if you voted for the Republican ticket, you were voting for Democrats. And if you voted for the Democrat ticket, you were voting for warmongering war criminals. Crazy. Crazy. Whoever knew politics would go that way, you know, like, not me. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. Not me. Never dreamed in a billion years that, you know, the Republicans would be the anti-war, pro-health, pro-whatever party. If somebody 10 years ago had said it's going to be like that, I'd been like, nah, I don't believe that. That's crazy talk. Get out of here. But it happened. Somehow it happened. Now these Wild West guys by Great Escape Games, supposedly in the very near future, they're going to release a box with mounted cowboys, which will be cool. That would be really cool, you know, to have, you know, some mounted cowboys. So you could play out, you know, chases and stuff like that. Whether the characters are robbing banks or trying to chase down bad guys and put them in their place. Yeah, that would be fun. And then, of course, using the Deadlands rules and just being really, really sparing with supernatural stuff. So that when supernatural stuff does happen, it's like a big deal, you know? The players are all like, holy shit. The hell was that, you know? Like if they're ever up north in the Colorados or something, have them get jumped by a Wendigo. That would be an interesting thing. It might end with all the players dying, but it'd be interesting. And hey, that's the whole point, right? I've got some metal cowboys I did a long time ago that I might need to do some highlights on. And of course, there's some ladies there too, but my favorite one I need to do detail work on his serape or vest or whatever it is. But I probably should have painted his pants blue, because that is 100% the outlaw Josie Wells. And we all know the outlaw Josie Wells is a Confederate soldier that refused to surrender because of, you know, the war crimes that the Redlegs did. So I might have to watch the outlaw Josie Wells again to see how he was actually dressed. But, you know, and then I've got in this kit, which was from Reaper, Buffalo Bill. I'm pretty sure this is Buffalo Bill, you know. He's got his rifle and he's like got all leather with like fringe all over it. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Buffalo Bill. But it looks to me like after I did the shade, I need to go back and do highlighting on the face and stuff to make it look, more skin colored instead of, just dirty. But yeah. Man, oh man. What a glorious time it is to live when you can buy role-playing miniatures for Wild West role-playing games. That is a glorious time to be alive. This character, I think, would probably be my wife's character. I gave her blonde hair and all that, but she's got like a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun in one hand and some kind of short-barreled revolver. So, yeah. Since my wife is, blonde, that would be... Yeah, cowboy stuff is awesome. And what's crazy is it's so universal in America, both North and South America. It's like, we got our cowboys and then there's gauchos and, that's the only thing I'm really missing. And I might have to go on the Reaper website and look for it, is I need some Mexicans, like with sombreros and bandoliers and shit. Because I know for a fact that's what my brother Hungar would want to play. He would want to play a Mexican with a big sombrero, couple of pistols, and, the whatever they're called across his chest. Yeah, these are my words of iron, my words of life and death. Yeah. That's the first movie, Clint Eastwood, Bandolier. Thank you, sir. The first movie Clint Eastwood directed himself. And good evening, Muktuk. And yeah, when he's talking to the Comanche, rides right in the middle of them alone and then gives them the thing, we can live in peace. But if not, then I'm here to... What'd he say? 10 Bears was the name of the Comanche. And he's like, I'm here to tell 10 Bears that I'm willing to live with him or die with him, whichever he chooses. And then he says, we'll give you some cattle. You can still hunt around here. We'll brand our cattle with the mark of the Comanche, blah, blah, blah. And and then he's like, but otherwise, my words of death are these pistols right by my side and those spears and rifles, and the guy and Tim Bears is like, there's iron in your words and the paper cannot hold the iron. It's good that men such as us meet in the struggle of life and death. And then in the end, he's like, I choose life. And I'm like, yay. Because the Comanche were not known for being like super nice people. They were pretty much known for like killing everything. They were a problem. You know what I mean? If you lived in the Old West near Comanche territory, they were an issue that you definitely had to deal with. And so, yeah. I think another great line is when the bounty hunter goes into the bar and Clint Eastwood's talking to him and he's like, you should probably just leave or whatever. And the guy's like, a man's got to make a living. And Clint Eastwood's like, dying ain't much of a living, boy. Oh yeah, they tried to genocide the Apaches. But Apache means enemy in like every language of all the tribes that lived near them. Like every single Indian tribe that lived near the Apache hated their guts. So the Comanche deciding to, genocide the Apache makes perfect sense to me. Wouldn't be the first tribe they genocided. I think they were heavily involved in the genociding of the Kiowa and probably pretty much involved in the genociding of the Anasazi. You know, just like the Lakota, they bitch about the Black Hills, but you know, like 50 years before we showed up to that region, they genocided the people who originally lived there. So it's like you're mad that we took it from you, but you took it from another tribe. Except we let you guys live, and you pretty much completely exterminated the other tribe. So in the end, it turns out the American cavalrymen that finally put an end to the Lakota Sioux were way nicer to the Lakota Sioux than they were to the tribe they had tucked that shit from. Because, yeah, they wiped them out. Probably took the women and the children, though. That was something a lot of Indian tribes, if the children were under a certain age, they would take them in, and then they would take the women, you know, and then wipe out all the men, and that'd be the end of it. I mean, you know. And honestly, in the green room, I see you now. Thank you, sir.
Hey, how's everything?
Honestly, it's hard to argue with that. Like, if you genocide a group of people out of existence, you really don't got to argue about the right and wrong of it, because who are you arguing with? A grave? You know what I mean?
You don't have an argument.
There's no argument. There's no debate. There's no one to apologize to. It just is what it is. SOCKS.
I want to do an unboxing. I'm trying to get Crafting Gamer over here, and I sent him a StreamYard link.
Okay.
Or
he's been having problems with his computer.
Crap.
Because he joined me a couple times and it kept dumping. I don't know if he got a new computer yet or whatever.
Not yet.
Let me see here. Yeah. I was happy to hear that the miniatures I sent to Kyle got to him today. So
if he doesn't show up fast, then I'll start a stream, because I know you're wanting to get off work or get off here and probably be with the wife or supper, whatever you're doing at 5:42 p.m.
Well, I mean, if you want to bullshit around a little bit, I'll stay on a little bit longer. But yeah, it's about time for me to get off and walk my dog and make an appearance. The last time my wife saw me, it was me dancing in my underwear in front of her.
It sounds like a good, healthy relationship.
She kind of, it puts her in a good mood.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know why, but me dancing for her puts her in a good mood. So
I want my friends.
Hello.
Hey.
How you doing, TCG?
Pretty good. My StreamYard's actually letting me be here today.
Awesome.
I was telling Bruce not to count on it because,
yeah,
you know, StreamYard hates your computer, and I didn't know if you'd gotten a new one yet or not.
I'm waiting till Cyber Monday.
Good idea. Oh, Bruce, I picked up the Blackbeard versus Lieutenant Maynard box set from Blood and Plunder. Firelock Games. It comes with 24 multi-part plastic miniatures to make the sailors and 2 sloops, hard plastic sloops.
Nice.
The only thing it doesn't come with is cells, because they expect you to make the cells out of paper. And in addition to that, I picked up the British crew, because it's like a Frostgrave except pirates. And I won't play the British, because whenever I played Sid Meier's Pirates, I always played the British.
Is this an Osprey game?
It's Flintlock Games.
Okay.
But it's
the note was just in case you felt like opening the box off camera.
Yeah, he's opening it. He's doing a box opening, but then I start talking.
Okay. Point noted. There's nothing personal on that note there. It's pertaining to the campaign that he's currently playing in.
Okay.
And if for those that don't
And
know,
a couple things for the high level players to deal with.
Yeah. Okay, let's get this paper out of the way.
Oh, I found a real surprise you're going to love, Bruce. 2 of them, in fact.
This
Yeah.
is a
I found that for less than $10. I had to get it for Bruce.
Dungeons and
I've got
Lasers.
some of that Dungeons and Lasers stuff. It's really cool.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's really cool stuff.
Dude. I can't wait to get this painted up. Okay.
Plastic.
Uh-oh. Looks like we've got living statues from Reaper Miniatures. And
Nice. Keep your players on their toes. Are they statues or are they something that's going to smack you in the head?
if Reaper keeps making them with this gray resin color, anything like I might not have to paint it.
Well, I mean, the gray resin's so much better than the white resin.
Oh,
too.
that white resin is garbage. Here's 2 pack mules.
See, there you went. Pack
Yeah.
mules, awesome.
WizKids figs. We've got some of those sculpts already, but it looks like they've redone because the molds look sharper. The details look better.
Yeah.
He's got a pair of loot golems here,
Nice.
or a loot golem. That'll be good. He didn't have to do this. Oh,
TCG's a good guy. I wonder if he ever got the box I sent him because Calvin, are those dogs?
dogs, Westies.
Nice little doggos.
Yeah. Can always use doggos.
You can always use a little doggo. Everybody needs a good boy.
Human Barbarian. One of these might be for Nerdy Ogre.
I can see Nerdy Ogre playing a human barbarian.
He's playing one in my every other week game.
Yeah, that I can totally see that. That just makes all the sense in the world.
More pack mules, which pack mules, if you're playing an RPG, and as long as it's not like a 5e garbage campaign, if your DM goes for like kind of simulationist or at least a good narrative, get yourself, if you are into miniatures, get yourself some mules, because you're going to want to have those out every once in a while when surprise rounds happen. And it provides a very good VIP escort mission for certain skirmish events.
Yep.
Saying
That's what I was going to say. You could be guarding like a very wealthy merchant who's traveling down the highway and he's got a whole mule train full of whatever it is that he's got. And that could be a whole encounter. Nice.
Two more Westie dogs.
More doggos.
Darksport Miniatures. I've not seen these guys out in a while. I need to look at their website again. Okay. A snapping turtle.
Geesh. Those are scary, man.
Yeah.
People pull them things out of the swamps down here and they are massive, like 100 pounds.
This is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to have that pop up in game.
Yeah. Speaking of doggos, though, Bruce.
Yeah, I saw those 2 days ago, and that looked so good.
I need to put shade on them and do their bases. What is this?
Male human rogues from
Nice.
WizKids. WizKids, I don't really buy a lot from them just for the ideology they have. I'm not going to say no to figures. I've already got a table full of their miniatures. And
Right.
then the DEI stuff came out. I'm like, okay, well, I'll stop buying that. But their sculpts are good, and they're the only reason that Reaper has leveled up their own production. Because
Yeah,
otherwise,
they had to. Otherwise, WizKid was going to murder them.
they were going to just get their entire lunch eaten.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So this is what he wants to. This is a Crocosaurus. This is a
Crocosaurus.
Reaper Fig.
So, like, it starts with an S. There actually was a Crocosaurus. The name started with an S.
This is cool.
Well, you know what the Scorpion Clan in L5R says, not your Echo. It is better to leave graves than living enemies.
Goblin War Chanters.
Huh?
Goblin War Chanters. They're goblin armed with a whip.
Nice. Where there's a whip, there's a way.
Oh yeah, they're one of the best sculpts I've ever seen. I've got a lot of these figs already, but of this specific fig, I've got probably 7 of, and one more is not going to hurt me at all. Because if you run games, like if you like to watch your players level up, and occasionally you need them to be able to get a morale boost, let them feel like badasses. Put 30 of these little level 1 or level 2 guys on the table, and yeah, the player's going to take moderate amounts of hurts and scrapes, but they should wipe the floor with these guys within like 4 or 5 rounds if there's 30 of them. Just
I'm not
between
echoing, am I?
the fighters doing their cleave attacks and the mage dropping AoEs all over the place.
Yeah, but you get these.
TCG, I hope you're happy with what I sent you.
It still hasn't arrived.
My goodness, Cal Vanoni's stuff showed up. And GM Cody's stuff showed up. And I sent it all out on the same day from the same exact place.
Have you run a tracking number?
He's got the tracking number too.
Okay.
I know
Yeah,
he's going to be happy
UPS.
there's a Gazcol in there. There's a Death Dread in there.
Uh,
There's
UPS has said that tracking number doesn't exist.
the what? UPS is full of shit.
What you talking about, Willis?
But I think I still have that receipt around somewhere. I'll have to look it up and make sure I didn't enter it wrong. But yeah, I know it went out because it was $40 in shipping. That's cool.
It's my girlfriend, Evelyn.
Yeah, I forgot that I had that one, so I figured I'd send you a statue-sized one instead of a huge bust, like in-game statue type thing.
I'm getting ready to paint up the huge bust, by the way, but I just thought I'd show you this because this is the female aberration beholder that this one here, the detail, I'm not letting it go in too far because I don't want James to get a copyright on it or nudity strike or whatever. But this one's supposed to, like, if you get the front butt properly painted, people will be able to tell what it is. But this is an interesting fig. They also have one where she's got a male member. Yeah.
Ganesh.
But that would be, if I wasn't such a prude, I would buy that because that is an aberration, and aberrations should absolutely terrify your players.
Be aberrant. They should absolutely be aberrant.
Yes.
And that would be very aberrant.
Thank you ever so much. You do not have to do this for me. I know you enjoy gifting.
Yes, I do.
I feel bad because I did not get you a Christmas gift yet, but we have 5 more weeks of shipping.
I'm still trying to figure out who sent me all those magazines for my rifle, but I think I got narrowed down to my pops because it come with my name, but my name was spelled in a very familiar way, you know, and no return address. So,
Yeah. I said I was probably showing off some since I ended up having to change devices. I sent the treasure golem mostly to mess with the high level players because I love the idea of Bruce. Oh yeah, you got a dragon sword. Oh, by the way, it's being guarded by a golem. What kind of golem? Plop, the treasure itself.
I got these freaking special collector's cards from Black Chantry.
Nice.
I can't see that really good, but that's a Nosferatu, and he is the Anarch Baron of Versailles.
We haven't seen Six Nations in chat yet, have we?
Not today.
Okay, because this is the next figure I'm painting.
Oh yeah.
And he is absolutely arachnophobic.
Yeah,
I-
you get that.
I know that's just really cruel, but I want to do it.
You wouldn't last long at my table because I love spiders. We had that talk. Like in real life, I love spiders. I had a tarantula as a pet.
I had one as a pet. I've not had one since, but
It was like I had it for a couple of years, and that was enough. It was little rose hair,
yeah,
and that was
But
enough. You know,
it was not friendly, but it was not hostile. It would tolerate me.
yeah, mine
I
would
was-
crawl on me and stuff and not bite me, but the problem was its hairs were like fiberglass.
Yeah, and that's the problem that I had with it, is the just the feeling of it would give you the willies.
Yeah,
But
it
not
would
a horrible creature.
That's how mine was. If it crawled on you and stuff and its hair got on you, it'd be itchy as shit. And then there you are. But overall, I mean, it wasn't a horrible pet. You know, chuck a cricket in there every now and then. And I remember one time I thought it died because I walked into the room and it was laying on its back. And it was like, holy shit, he died. And then I watched, and after a while, I saw him come out, or her. I don't know. I never asked. And then it was just molting.
Yeah,
But I thought it had died. I was like, what the hell? You know?
I went off to a 2-week sail, and before I left, I dropped 4 crickets in the cage. When I came back, I had 2 spiders in my cage,
Yeah.
and it wasn't 2 spiders; it was 1 spider and his shedded skin.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Here,
"Oh, that was
Yeah, that's there it's like, I don't know. If you're not super anti spider, they're kind of cool little pets because they don't really require much of anything.
no." I wouldn't call it a pet. I would call it something that you literally own. It's as much cuddly as a plant is, as a cactus. If you can
Pretty
appreciate
much.
having a cactus,
It's about as much of a pet as a freaking, plant would be. That's a good analogy. Because it just sits in its little place until you throw food in it, and then it comes out and gets the food, and then you might see it wandering around a little bit, but it's just hanging out there. Their eyes glow in the dark. That's creepy as hell.
I don't doubt that. 2 points of interest for you, Bruce. Something it didn't say it on the box of the dogs, but apparently those are Highland Terriers. It's like I couldn't find the rat terriers, but most terriers like like killing rats anyway. So it's like Bruce has terriers for his terrier guild. I was super excited for that.
oh,
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like doggos, right?
I don't know anybody that.
And
doesn't like
when I bought the Crocosaurus, it was advertised as a dragon, as a crocodile dragon. So I was like, yeah.
interesting.
It wasn't until I bought it. It wasn't until I looked at the box. Crocosaurus? Good thing I didn't pay that much for it, because that's kind of disappointing.
Well, you know what's crazy is before like the 1800s, anytime they found dinosaur fossils, they called them dragons.
Yep.
Drunken dragons. I like that.
So it's
Drinking dragon.
Dunkles.
that's
Dunkles
just
and
what they
dragons.
called them. If they found if they found the bones of a dinosaur, they said it was a dragon.
This is
And
a dark joke.
somehow, I think it's a German scientist that came up with the terrible lizard thing,
Oh, yeah.
and then that caught
I
on.
think you're right.
They started calling them dinosaurs.
Well, they wanted to not say that they were a bunch of superstitious people from the Middle Ages, and the quickest way to do that is to call these things dragon bones. But wait, we all know Latin, right? Well, let's call it a Latin thing.
Right.
I know it's a dinosaur, which means terrible lizard in Latin, and you'd know that if you spoke Latin. You
Right.
unwashed.
Meanwhile, there's a good chance that it's actually a dragon.
Yeah, actually, there is a really good chance because dragons have shown up in every culture's
I mean-
mythology. Muck
I
Tuck,
mean, we don't know either way if we're honest with ourselves. We like to think we do, but we don't actually know anything about anything. But anyway, man, that was a good package. TCG, I'm sorry you haven't got your package. I'm going to look for the receipt and make sure I put the number in right, because Cody got his like 2 days later and Cal got his today or yesterday. And you're closer than Cal. Cal's in Northern California. Now, I knew Cody would get his first because Cody's in like Tennessee. But yeah.
No, if Cal's in California, then he'd actually be closer than me because I'm in North Idaho and right along the Canadian border.
Oh, so yeah, maybe you'll get tomorrow. But I'll still try and find the number and make sure you got the right number.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, I'm going to take off, hang out with wife, aggravate her, fight with my pup. He likes when we play fight.
Your dog is so cute, dude.
The beer that sponsors my channel, if there was one, I would hope it would be Yingling, because Yingling is all American, made in coal country, Pennsylvania, and it's been around for 100+ years. So I am a Yingling man, 100%.
I've got this here from Houston. It is called Dunkels and Dragons. It is a very fantasy game themed beer.
Yeah, Bruce, you're doing it wrong though. You're supposed to be drinking Lone Stars.
I will drink Lone Star.
Do you remember in True Detective when Matthew McConaughey's sitting in the questioning room with those FBI agents? He slides them some money. He's like, "I'll take a 6 or a Long Star or whatever, you know."
Yeah.
He's like, "And hurry up." And they're like, "You can't drink here." And he's like, "Look, it's 3:00 on a Tuesday, and on 3:00 on Tuesdays I drink. So either you can go get me the beer or I'll leave." And the one guy sends the other agent to get the beer. It's like, okay.
And if you've not seen True Detective, gamers, history nerds, people who love good drama, you're going to love True Detective.
Yeah, True Detective season 1 is a must watch for like everyone in the world.
I wouldn't say season 2's must see, but season 2's watchable.
Yeah, season 2 is okay. Season 3 was okay. I haven't watched season 4, but season 1 was a work of art. It was just amazing. It was so freaking good. Like better than it should have been.
Have you seen The Wire?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
that's always my first. Okay, how much good literature have you watched? How much good television have you enjoyed? Have you seen The Wire yet?
right.
And for me, The Wire is just like the creme de la creme.
Yeah, that one dude is just ruthless as hell. The tall, skinny black dude.
Black kid. Yeah, I forgot what his name was, but
that guy.
he gave no shits whatsoever. And by the
Zero
end of
F's given about anything.
by the end of season 5, like you didn't know what was going to happen, but you knew he was going to be involved in some bad stuff.
Right.
And the way that season 5 ends, it's kind of a disappointment because you've just watched this huge epic going from the cops and their families to the unions and how they kind of run or ruin Baltimore, and then it goes into like the policing and how some people try to fix convicted individuals that are recidivists, and then it goes into the rehabilitation aspect of things, and then season 4 comes along and it shows you how fucked up the education system is, and Brandy Burr is still hot.
Right.
But then season 5, it gets revealed to you as you watch it that season 5 is when they go into the media, and the guys that are writing the script used to work in the papers. That's how they knew so much and made it feel so authentic. and they did such a good job with that show.
Yeah.
I'll be very happy if I can ever watch something 3/4 as good again.
Right. For me, the best TV show ever made is definitely True Detective season 1. I mean, The Wire's awesome, but True Detective, it hits my freaking Call of Cthulhu spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The weird occultism shit, and plus it's Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. So I mean, Harrelson.
Oh my God.
And they are both acting like the roles of their lives. Those guys are killing it in that series. It's just so good.
I never knew Woody Harrelson could act. And
Yeah, right. That
what
dude can act.
No Country for Old Men was the first time I saw him act, and I thought, oh wow, he's
That's a
good.
crazy movie. Dude walks into the store and he's like, heads or tails. What?
Wait, you inherited this?
Yeah. Like,
You married into this store?
but anyway, I'm gonna take off. I will catch you guys later. Congratulations, Bruce. And Crafting Gamer, I'll try and figure out what the hell's happening. But if you do live next to Canada in Iowa or some shit, Idaho, then yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Kyle got his stuff before you did.
That's why I haven't. That's the reason I didn't message you on Discord. Oh, it hasn't arrived yet. It's like, it's going to be a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if it was a while, I like if we think something went bad, I'll go to the store and be like, hey, where did this go?
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm clicking off.
See you, everybody.
Take care. ECG, thank you.